Messi being MVP, guys.
Hold on, before you do, can we all laugh at Christian Benteke being the Golden Boot winner and DC not making the playoffs?
Wow.
Jeez, wow.
Welcome to Mike McGee territory, everybody. Welcome back to the Enemies of the Fire podcast. This week, Miami and Messi set records. Christian Pulisic annexes Italy. And we have all sorts of goodbyes to say, former Fire players. And just, I'm not sad about it at all. This is James. This is DPG. I am FC Neo Tokyo. Gentlemen, how are we doing this week?
Doing all right. Pulisic had a pretty darn good weekend. And I did fantastic in fantasy football, so I'm sitting pretty.
Oh, your fantasy football team. That reminds me of the conversation. I'm sitting on a long bus ride, and I see these guys going back and forth about I played Football Manager with the Fire. I'm making moves, baby.
Ooh, what you make me think about that?
Was that me? Was that me?
That was you.
Comment below if you want to see some Football Manager content from Enemies of the Fire.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
all right. Talking about basically playing Football Manager. Inter Miami, I'm sorry, I should put them respect on their name. They broke the record. They had 73 points this season, and Messi played 7 games and scored 39 goals. What are we impressed? Because
let's think about it this way. Messi without his supporting cast, what was that, last place last year?
Oh my God, he had no time to bring that from the grid. He rose him 3 spots at least.
Yeah, just 3 spots, but they were still out of playoffs.
Yeah,
but now that you add in the supporting cast, of course. I mean, you basically brought in Barcelona. I mean, from 10 years ago.
I feel like you were thinking they were over the hill. You were talking some smack at the beginning of the season. Now you weren't the only one, but you were saying there's no way.
You were.
It sucks because you kind of, to me personally, you have to wonder how they're making this possible in terms of salary space, and you got other teams that are basically nickel and diming their salary spots. Just kind of, exactly. It's that Don Garber magic, bro.
Imagination. Yeah. No, they, I don't know. Do you think they broke any rules, James? I mean, a lot of people kind of feel like Rubbin's racing when it comes to MLS. If you're not breaking rules, you ain't trying.
That's the thing. Every team pushes the rules. Money in these sports is not a real thing. These contracts, the NFL always finds ways to bring guys in, moving around the cap. As long as you got a guy who can do it, it can be done. Moving money for these teams is pretty easy. Come in with a back end deal from a sponsor, maybe to make up the difference sometimes. Did that play a part in Inter Miami's success? Of course. Team building takes a part in every team's success. And they built a championship-winning, Community Shield-winning team here. And it's quite quality. They got a striker that... They didn't just get a striker that doesn't work with Messi. They got a striker that's one of the best chemistry connections with Messi of all time, with Luis Suarez.
Shout out to David Ruiz from Inter Miami. Honduras needs you, buddy. Get better soon.
There we go. So I would like my flowers because I remember being the only person on the planet who told everybody who would listen that Luis Suarez was lying about his knee. Dude just wanted out of Brazil and wanted to play in MLS with Messi.
Yeah.
Come on.
What team was he playing before this? Was it Sao Paulo? Internacional.
Hermio or whatever.
So he gave them that smile he has all the time, that weird smile. I'm injured. I'm gonna let me go now.
Oh, my knees! I can't even pick up my child and crumble.
He wants to play soccer with me. I don't know if I can.
Hold on. So I got a question for James because he's the man who did some research here. So we all know Busquets. We all know Jordi Alba. We all know Luis Suarez. Who else rounded out this team? Who actually played defense?
Well, they also got Campana. They freaking got. They had who played defense. It's Fabian Herbert's buddy, the one that they traded for from Vancouver. I don't know how they pulled that off. What's his face?
The German.
The German guy. I forgot.
Okay, well,
Gressel,
the German guy.
Julian Gressel.
Gressel.
So it looks like their usual defense is Allen, Kristov, and Aviles.
My God.
Well, maybe this isn't.
This is not even the full roster, bro.
Let's go.
That's like no Barcelona on it. Here, that looks much
There
better.
we go.
Let's see.
Martinez, Aviles, Weigand, Alba, Bright, Busquets, Kramaski, Gressel, Suarez, Taylor, and where's Messi? Right? Messi's right.
Does
there,
that?
right there on the bench.
Where's Messi?
He's right there on
does
the bench.
That look like the best? Does that look like the best MLS team in history to you?
Well, you got Messi. Well, assuming Messi's in there as well. Messi, Suarez, Busquets, Gressel, Alba, Kramaski is really good too. And I thought this Campana kid was coming along.
He is. You're not wrong.
Isn't that Ryan Taylor on the right wing? Like, this is a good team. This is a damn good team.
I'm wondering how they made a roster compliance with that team.
And not to mention, they also had a goalie that they brought up kind of as a youth guy with Calendar. Like, he was not the guy. There was other guys here, and he just was younger, better, and stronger and taller than all of them.
But you know what makes a good defense is a great offense.
It's true.
Like if you guys,
they play a little defense.
So Luis Suarez had Luis Suarez had so we have two legitimate MVP candidates from this team, Messi and Luis Suarez.
So my thing they're gonna hype up this team like, oh my God, look at the amazing turnaround from one year to another. And the thing is, with the players you added, of course, with the coach you added, because we keep forgetting that we also have Tata Martino.
Yes.
I mean, he is coaching this team too. So that's a lot of egos he has to put in check. So it's kind of strange how all the right moves just come all at once when it takes teams sometimes 2 or 3 years to kind of get stuff in motion put together. It took this team
Well, you say that, but they probably spent 2 or 3 years planning this. Sandbagging.
They spent 2 or 3 years planning the Messi arrival. When you got a guy like Beckham owning this team, it's not that hard to convince the best player in the world to say, "Hey, come play for my team." And I'm sure he probably had a set of demands. I'm sure he had a set of. He might have even had a list.
But like you listen to those. You give in to those demands.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you also have to keep in mind, who knows if Don Garber was in that room while these demands are happening. Because
I hope so. Like, the thing is, here's the thing. I think of MLS roster rules like parking tickets, right? Like, there's rules that exist, and like murder, you shouldn't murder nobody, right? No, but speeding tickets, get out of every parking ticket, get out of every possible one you can. Avoid the boot. Don't pay them. Whatever you can do to get out of them. That's how MLS roster rules are. Cheat. They're dumb rules that shouldn't exist. Cheat.
Yeah. I mean, we all agreed on that.
Don't say cheat. Cheating's not good, but push it. Push the numbers, right?
I mean, kind of put us in that openness of contracts, like European style. Like, I mean, maybe. Well, at this point, with all the money that's being pumped into this league, at this point, why not?
Well, I want to dig a little deeper into Messi being MVP, guys.
Hold on, before you do, can we all laugh at Christian Benteke being the Golden Boot winner and DC not making the playoffs?
Wow.
Wow.
Welcome to Mike McGee territory, everybody. Thank you.
That's not all. So I've been running the numbers, and Messi's MVP candidacy here. He is playing 19 games, almost less than half of Bouanga at 32, right? Who scored 20 in 32 matches. I did the math. Ran the numbers. 23. I ran it on Benteke first of all. 23 goals in 2,600 minutes. That's how many minutes he came. That's 113 minutes per goal. Let's go on to Suarez. He's got 20 goals in 1,920 minutes. That equates to a goal every 86 minutes. Let's dig into this one because this is the crux of the argument. Messi with 20 goals in 1,485 minutes. That equates to 80 a goal. I'm sorry, I screwed that up. I'm sorry. Suarez is 96 minutes. Suarez is 96.
Okay, Suarez is 96.
Messi is 86. I apologize.
That makes a lot of sense.
I fucked it up. I was right.
Wait,
okay.
So Suarez is scoring at a better clip than Messi, but played way more games?
I'm sorry, I ran the numbers wrong here. Suarez is 20 divided by... So Suarez is scoring goals at a rate of 96 per at a 96 goal, a goal per 96 minutes. Benteke, I misquoted. He's at 86, a goal per 86 minutes. Messi is a goal per 78 minutes. So I've saved that for last. There it is. 78 minutes, a goal.
He did score on a lot of crappy teams, though. He scored a lot of goals on crappy teams.
Didn't account for assists. Who cares? Yet.
No,
I didn't even account for assists, which would be points per minute.
So before you go to assists, Chris Wondolowski scored a lot of goals. We picking apart who he scored against?
No, but I mean, it's Chris Wondolowski, so.
No, you be nice to Chris Wondolowski. Jurgen Klinsmann tells you to.
You know what?
Holy shit.
No, also be nice to Chris Wondolowski.
I give you that. Chris Wondolowski is a great guy. You know, San Jose legend. Scratch that. Houston legend.
Houston legend. So hold on. Before we got sidetracked.
This is insane.
Is Miami the first team ever to have two 20 goal scorers?
Not only is Miami is the two best players in the league in Messi and Suarez, because Suarez has a ridiculous goal rate. Let me do the numbers here. 19, 20.
I mean, anything under 180 minutes is an incredible rate, to be honest.
Suarez puts up a point every 58 minutes. Messi puts up a point a game every 41 minutes. That means in a game, he's providing at least 2 points in a full 90. Statistically.
I'll tell you what's the problem. I'll tell you what's the problem.
What's the problem?
None of these MLS defenders want to really dig deep into those tackles on Messi.
That is not true.
You know why? Because they want their jersey after the game. So
no, you are full of it, dog. Listen, look at Jimmy Conrad. He stopped Messi once and won't shut up about it. Like, dude,
wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
Why?
Exactly. Listen, these guys are trying. He's just clowning the league.
He's clowning the league.
I honestly don't think it shows poorly on MLS. It just shows you the kind of freak of natures these guys are now with modern medicine and modern sports, psychology and training. It's incredible. These guys are playing later and later in their careers and at a high level. I at first was very against Messi getting an MVP award because he didn't play, that often. He was hurt. But his numbers are so stupidly insane that you almost can't not give it to him. He just instantly changes games. Even, what aren't in those numbers is I can think of at least 3 instances he came off the bench after being hurt or international duty or whatever, and then instantly scoring and changing the game from a tie to a win or a loss to a tie.
On top of that, guys, this is what's crazy. So both Messi and Suarez have played in roughly about half of the entire minutes of Inter Miami's, all of them, the available minutes in Inter Miami's season. So that means the other 50% was carried by the team.
Well, Suarez,
that Suarez and Messi, when they did come in, just provided so many points per game, it just set them to top. It's got to be a little bit of both.
So Miami without Suarez or Messi basically becomes half the team they are now?
Yeah, because when Messi was out, Suarez was there and vice versa. Right? So they were technically never without the guy.
Interesting, right? Yes. So Messi played in 55%. I'm sorry, go on.
You're telling me that when Messi and Suarez retire or whatever, get hurt.
Whoa. Guys, they set an MLS record. Two.
Yes, they did.
74 points.
I mean, really, if they win an MLS Cup,
this is just a phase. I think once they leave, Miami's gonna go back to the bottom of the table. I'm gonna leave it at that.
oh my God, look at what the Bulls did after getting rid of Jordan and Pippen, dude. Like, it happens to every great team. You immediately have a giant crater, and the good ones bounce back after the crater.
You mean like the 2017 Fire?
Or like, yeah, well, they weren't a great team. No, we're talking like, I mean, look at how many MLS clubs missed the playoffs immediately the year after winning MLS Cup.
That is true.
You know, like, I don't know. Louis, who do you got, James? It is hard to do because I think this MVP race is between Suarez and Messi. Like, Benteke is not in the conversation. I mean, I guess Cucho is in the conversation, and it's like, that's hard too because, like, in name alone, the most valuable player, Cucho is probably the most valuable player to his team. But, like, Cucho is the best player of the season is Messi or Suarez.
It's Leo Messi, and it's Leo Messi by a long shot.
Benteke.
Luis Suarez has put up an incredible campaign, absolutely incredible. And if Messi wasn't here and he did this, we'd be saying the same platitudes. But he did this with Messi. Do you think he would do this without Messi?
Yeah, because he did it without Messi. Like I said, Suarez was playing when Messi was hurt, and Messi was playing when Suarez was hurt.
There we go. So, I mean, that's a good point.
But I mean,
that's a point for Suarez to at least have an argument. But they played roughly about the same amount of games and roughly about the same amount of minutes. But one is scoring at a clip of 1.5 points, and the other one is scoring at a clip of 60 minutes or so. So, I mean, still that's, which is incredible. 58 minutes for Suarez, a point every 58 minutes, which is what an incredible outrage. It's the second best in the league after Messi. And what is the ultimate thing that matters? It's goals and wins, and goals leads to wins. And you were talking about it. Those times we saw, we know Suarez had impact when he came up. Suarez was consistent, constant impact. But Messi came in, and Suarez changed games the same. But Messi just provided just that extra level, and we all know it.
I tend to agree with you on that. DPG, who do you think the MLS MVP this season is? I brought up Cucho for you to remember so you could be the outlier.
I mean, obviously Benteke is a golden boot, but I mean, you know what? If Cucho wins the MLS Cup with Columbus Crew, you're gonna have to argue that it's probably gonna be him taking that.
But do they vote now or do they vote after?
They
MLS
vote
Cup?
after. I think they vote after MLS Cup.
Ooh, you're right. That could very well shake things up.
Oh wait, I made a mistake because Suarez is tied with Lucho Acosta for basically the same amount of goals per assist. So Acosta also has an argument for MVP. Lucho Acosta. He has 33 total points. Suarez had 33 total points. Messi had 36 total points.
It's hard not to give it to Messi. Just how dominant he is when he does play, and the fact
I think name recognition alone is probably going to get him that trophy.
Acosta scored a point. Acosta's point per game total was a point per every 82 minutes, and he was the third best.
I mean, look at can I shout out Evander? Like, what a hell of a season after really having kind of a stutter step when he first joined the league.
Didn't he join Cincinnati?
No, he was in Portland. He's been in Portland.
Okay, wow. Okay. He scored more. He's got 34. He's got 34 goals. Let's check his goal per minute.
Wait.
24, 5.
No, not 34 goal contributions.
I'm sorry. He's got 34 points.
Assists and goals combined, yeah.
And that is good for a point every 72 minutes for Evander.
I will say I am very happy that at least the numbers bear out that it's a conversation for Messi, and it's not some goofy thing where they just like last season.
Well,
had they handed it to him last season, that would have been embarrassing.
I think we've identified the main contenders. I mean, Luciano Acosta, Evander, Messi and Suarez, and if you want to, you could throw in the Golden Boot winner, which is Benteke.
Nah, you're forgetting Cucho. Connor is gonna be so mad at you.
Cucho. I mean, arguably,
Yeah, he's gonna get mad, bro. He's gonna go on an anti-Messi rant.
But for me, if you're bringing Benteke in, you got to bring
Miami.
If you're bringing
He's
Benteke in,
this and vinegar that Connor.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you're bringing Benteke into the argument, though, then you also have to bring in Bouanga at that point. But so at that point, I think we have the clear 4 identified.
I mean, I guess Bouanga, has a hat in the ring. I mean, LAFC did pull off the comeback to step on the Galaxy, which is kind of a baller ass move.
I'm sorry, we're gonna have to throw Cucho Hernandez into the ring too, because he's got 33 points total.
That's what I brought up. Cucho is.
Basically, Cucho is basically going to be playing for his for that MVP trophy whenever Columbus and Miami meet in the playoffs.
Cucho put up a point every 64 minutes, so a lot closer to Suarez with his 58 minutes. So
God, just look up Hugo real quick. These numbers make me so horny, and we have nothing.
Hugo who? Hugo
Kuipers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he should be on this. He might be on the goal list. He might be honorable enough to have.
No, he's got 10.
Oh, he's on second page.
Almost made it.
All right, here he is. He's got 10 goals and 2 assists. Let's run the numbers here.
Oy.
So that is with 2,600 minutes played.
XP.
Plus, so divided by 12. We'll give him the points. He put up a point every 219 minutes.
That's going to improve with a better team around him.
And if we want to do a goal per minute, it's going to be even worse.
No, thank you.
No, I think we'll just do this again next year.
A goal every 263 minutes. And he was the best scorer on the Fire, right?
Well, to be fair, he didn't play for 4 games because his son was born or child. I don't know.
Might have gotten 2 more, actually. Right?
But I mean,
man, they got to feed him. We'll talk about it later. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, right no. These numbers make me I salivate for somebody like this.
We're gonna say don't bring up the roster, man. We're gonna talk about.
I just want to see goal leader Kuipers. All right, that's what it was.
Kuipers by far. Yeah.
Get rid of this. I don't want.
All right.
There's a special place for that.
DPG is I'm holding it back. I'm holding it back.
I'm holding it in, man.
We'll finish this segment real quick with something I'm sure DPG might actually agree with, that Inter Miami getting awarded this Club World Cup berth was pure bullshit.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a money grab. It's just them saying, "Hey, Messi is playing for that team. Let's just bring him on board for whatever reason. We'll make up some BS rule."
They waited till the last second, and they're like, "Oh yeah, them winning the Community Shield, that's good enough. They're in."
Is there anything that matters less in human history than the Club World Cup?
It used to mean something though. It used to mean something when it was only one club for each confederation, one from North America.
Shit. Real Madrid would piss all over anyone.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't always like that. Sometimes you had the occasional Brazilian team or Argentine team that will beat the crap out of the...
Change your algorithm, dog.
This is our algorithm.
Maybe I need to take over the account.
Who else is in it? Who's the other MLS team?
Well, this is great.
Scroll down. Let me see. Who's the other MLS team?
Al Hilal,
Seattle Saunders,
Al Ali, Urara Red Diamonds, Al Ain.
Why Seattle Saunders?
Seattle Sounders because
didn't they win this club? Oh, it's because they haven't done this for 2 years because they won the CONCACAF Champions League 2 years ago. So that's what.
Monterrey, Leon, Pachuca,
they got 3
Palmeiras,
Mexican teams, 2 Americans,
Flamengo, Fluminense, River Plate.
They got the usual.
Oh
suspects.
my God! I can't wait for Brian Schmetzer to game plan against Neymar.
Boca Juniors. Wait a second. Auckland City. That's Australia. Chelsea, Real Madrid,
New Zealand,
Man City. Oh, it's New Zealand.
Don't get it twisted, bro.
Wow.
New Zealand.
Oh wow. Man City, Bayern Munich, PSG, Inter Miami, Porto, Benfica. Dortmund, awesome. Juventus, Atletico, Salzburg, Inter Miami, and potentially 2 more or 1 out of CONMEBOL.
Oh,
Oh
gross.
man.
Oh my God, AC and
So wait,
Mama
so
Ladodi
wait. Okay, no
Sundown.
wonder everybody's mad because I thought the MLS Cup champion was going to go to this too. Nah, give it to the Supporter Shield champion. Whatever gets Miami here, and I actually all of this complaining makes me just hope Miami wins the title. Then just shut up. Then they go anyway because it's like, dude, they deserve it. They broke the record. It's the best team. It's the biggest cash
It's the
grab.
best team.
Yes, the entire tournament is a cash grab. Why would you? No. Like, what are you going to make me do? Like, eat my vegetables and watch 2004 Greece? No. Like,
Honestly, I
let me
mean,
watch
they brought the heavy hitters from Europe. I mean, they got Real Madrid, they got Inter, they got Juventus. Let's see, do they got AC? I don't see AC Milan there, so no Christian Pulisic action. They got Bayern Munich.
Oh, shit. Manchester is blue.
Yeah, the blue one, not the
God,
red
I
one.
just
The blue
keep
one.
trying to bait James. He just does not care. Have you checked out of your Man United fandom?
No, not at all. It's just I'm not paying attention to English soccer at all right now.
Me neither, man. I stopped giving a crap. Like
I watch
after Sir Alex.
I watch almost every Sunday though. I watch a game. I just haven't even tracked it. I'm just like, oh, I love to have my coffee with it.
I've been more checked out this season, like so far at the beginning of the European season than usual. It's just been like, what's Pulisic doing? Dope.
I've been tuned
Everybody
into
else...
more Pulisic. Actually, that's really what it is. I have been tuned into a little bit more Pulisic, and I've been tuned into any soccer that pops in my TV, like AS Monaco the other day when they had Balogun on a few weeks ago. When I was watching Wrexham the other day. When I was watching the last few EPL games that I watched.
I was watching some highlights from Wrexham actually. I just figured every now and then I'll look at highlights, but I mean,
where are they these days? You know what? Actually, let's come back to this conversation because we're starting to talk European soccer.
That's right.
So let's get to the next segment and talk European soccer. James, what should they do with that like button?
Take it, pick it up, pump a few little air into
crap out of it,
and then just punt that like button. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Welcome back, fellow enemy fire. We are here, and it's time to glaze Christian Pulisic. Like, absolute dick ride Christian Pulisic right now. Anyway, James, what happened this weekend? Or was this Monday or Tuesday? Dude, this just happened. It happened. I don't know when, but it happened. And
over the weekend, over the weekend, Christian Pulisic became the first player in Europe to contribute to at least a goal, whether it was him scoring or him assisting a goal in a 7-game streak. It is the longest streak of any player in Europe, and it's Christian Pulisic. And it begs the question, has he done enough to earn the title world class?
Hold on. The answer is yes. But before we get that,
no.
What was his latest goal? What was his latest of that run?
The latest goal, which I'll show here in pictures, was him standing over a corner.
Shout out to Unamas.
Valiantly, like a champion he is. And by the way, it is Champions League match.
It is Champions League.
And he's looking down, and he notices, look at this, the way the goalkeeper is creeping out there. They're playing Bruges. I don't know, Bruges?
Hold on, don't you dare hit play yet. Hold on.
I can't hit play. It's illegal.
Is he working on a mullet?
He does have some sort of little party in the back situation going on there. Maybe some curls.
God, he is quite literally the most Rizless player on the U.S. team, but he's the best. This sucks. Anyway, if you look at this picture,
he notices that the keeper is far out, and here are the defenders also well far out, and his team in black, gray, as they're sitting right there, a couple guys in the box, and he's gonna
dependent on your color blindness level.
Keeper's not really paying attention as much as he should be. He's a little focused on the guys around him, and Pulisic takes this, boom, it's off into the air. Right now, the goalkeeper has fallen into the net. What is going on here?
Oh boy, what happened? What's in there as well? Oh, it looked the ball. Yo, does he try this?
So here's the ball in the middle, and then boom. The goalkeeper's running back, but it's already too late. He's like fumbling. It goes right around him, and into the net. Like his other defenders, they look like, clowns on Bozo the Clown Show.
Oh, they're trying, yeah.
And boom, there's the goal, and they go ahead 1-0 in the Champions League game.
So basically, he curved it in because that goalkeeper was out of place, out of position.
Yeah, he was out of position. He was definitely out of position.
Absolutely.
So the fact that he had to run back tells me that it curved in.
It did curve in. Did you not see this?
Yeah, I see it.
Wow,
Curved in.
there's Chelsea fans. Dude, Chelsea fans are upset. This is traveling up in Chelseaville. We bought a player for $100 million and then sold world-class Pulisic, who is the best player in the world right now. We never learn. Signed a Chelsea fan. Wow.
I feel like this. I almost feel like this is my success. This episode has been me getting my flowers. I was right about Luis Suarez. I was the first of the three of us to acknowledge and accept the fact that Christian
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
is-
I'm gonna tell you right now. You better hope, you better hope that this is not like a one-season wonder. Like if he continues this for the next couple.
Wait, stop! I'll stop you right there.
He's already had a big
Let me
season
read
at
you the
Chelsea.
list of U.S. men's national team players to reach double-digit career goals in the Champions League.
Okay.
Christian Pulisic with 10.
Okay.
That's it. That's the list.
Wait, though. Hold on.
Look.
Not for
So
right now.
You guys are hyping this up. All right.
He's been doing it, DB. That's my point, DBG. He's been doing it.
I get that.
Quietly.
I want to have this conversation 2-3 years from now.
Mhm.
Like if we get to that point where he's doing it every season,
Let's see 20
then
up there.
if he does it every season for the next 2-3 years, then hey, the argument for world class, there it is. That's your argument. That's he's done it for the past 2-3 years. This is the first year where he's having a breakout season like this.
James, you are the deciding vote here. You originally have sided with DPG on Pulisic is not world class. I have said he is. Where do you currently stand today?
Damn, you guys are pushing me.
I'm putting you on the spot.
I'm just saying this.
I
I'm
don't
just
think you're
the
putting
reason-
me on the spot so much as Christian's performance is putting us on the
get,
spot.
I get what's going on right now,
This is
and
an
I get the
incredible run of
excitement.
form, and runs of form
I'm
happen
excited.
to.
I'm excited too.
But wait, DPG, runs of form happen to non-world class players, right?
That's the thing.
Non-world class players can go on runs.
World class players can go on runs and can sustain a level of world class play, right? Non-world class players that have one season that they go on a run have a tendency to regress back to pre-world class play.
I think he's entering the zone. I think
so.
If this is a touchdown zone area, maybe he's at the 5 or the 3-yard line, and he is one goal line play away from entering into world class. Like he is right now he's adding on those feathers, right? And making the argument.
This is what I'll do. I won't wait 2 or 3 years. Next year, at the end of the year, around this time next year, we'll have this conversation again. Like if he can sustain this level of play in terms of like world class play, being among the best, then by all means, the man is like on another level beyond anything that the U.S. men's national team or the U.S. itself has ever produced.
He already is.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because that was going to be my next question. The one argument I have is this. I tried to watch a lot of Chelsea when he was there. And personally, I didn't see everything. But I personally believed that when he was on the field, he always produced. He never looked out of sorts. He always played well. He just was at times put on the bench for dumb reasons, meaning honestly, I think it was because Mason Mount is English. And they were forcing them to play Mason Mount instead. Now, secondly...
I'm hoping that was the case.
Well, and secondly, he was injured a lot there. So that happened as well. So if you take when he was on the field, I think he was still this player. He just didn't have enough consistent game time, whether it was his fault for injury or bad coaching, because we've now seen Thomas Tuchel sucked, Frank Lampard sucked. They all sucked. And that's my argument for him. Now, you brought it up. and I love that you did because I was about to bring it up. Is Christian Pulisic already the best U.S. player in the history? Outfield player.
Done.
Okay,
It's
because
done deal.
honestly,
1000%.
Tim Howard is my answer.
He's better than Dempsey. He's better than Donovan. He's better than Wondolowski. He's better.
So hold on. There's.
He's achieved higher levels to me than the goalkeepers. Any of the goalkeepers.
You think he's even cleared the keepers?
Absolutely. Far and away the best U.S. men's national team player
I want to throw
ever.
a criteria. I want to throw a criteria in this. Okay, because we both know that we can talk about club performance. We could talk about national team performance. Okay. By all means, right now, Christian Pulisic, with everything he has done so far in AC Milan, is by far probably one of the greatest achievements so far from an American player. By all means, like. I'm really hoping that this sticks and he goes on to have seasons. Maybe he might not have a crazy season like he's having now.
He's only leading the Serie A with most goals and assists since the beginning of 2024.
But even a slight dip for the next 3 or 4 years is a lot. Is saying a lot for his career.
Why
in terms
do you
of
keep fearing this dip, this non-existent dip in Christian Pulisic's
Because
form?
I think I
don't get that. I expect this guy to he's reaching a plateau, right? I think there's going to be a plateau where he becomes the best he can ever be.
Hold on.
We haven't seen it yet, and he's already this good.
4 seconds. I want to say this about your plateau. You just said he was a goal line play away from being world class. That's everyone's plateau.
Yeah, right. But here's the thing.
But then when there's also a small window in time where you stay inside of that touchdown zone of world class, right?
You guys remember Luca Toni, the Italian player?
Oh, once you're world class forever. Because what about Schweinsteiger? Right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, hold on. Let's think of somebody who really embarrassed themselves.
John Terry?
I mean, Gareth Bale.
Didier Drogba?
Gareth Bale. Probably one of the best players on the planet.
Yeah, but Didier Drogba kept that up for like a while in Chelsea.
Didier Drogba did not score the amount of goals you think.
I'm saying at some point these world-class players get old, right? And do they remain world-class players at that point? I think they do still.
Christian Pulisic was 24 years old right now?
Is Pogba
No, he's 27.
Is it 20?
Hold on, how old is Pulisic? 26, 27?
I'll double check.
44.
He's 44.
No, Pulisic is 26.
Okay.
All right.
So he's basically at that point where it's hit or it's at that. So normally in their late 20s is probably when everybody has like their career moments.
He's in his prime.
So if he really is world class, this is the start of the next 4 seasons of this.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was trying to get at. Saying this is this beginning. If he does this, even past 30, like. Hell, if he can make it up to 34 years old.
Well, look at Eden Hazard is eating off of 2 seasons. So, 4 years worth of this kind of play.
Eden Hazard was world-class at one point. Would you still call him world-class?
Who, Pogba? Yeah, but
Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard. And now, think about this. The same question for Paul Pogba, who's only 31 years old.
Well, look at Michael Owen. Same thing happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we move to Pogba, though, and I apologize for cutting you off,
So
DPG.
not all players remain world-class.
They don't stay world-class, but they always are world-class. Okay, if you're president and then you, lose an election, you're a former president.
You're still Mr. President.
So,
every president's still Mr. President. Right.
There you go. So hold on. Before I apologize. I don't want to get this.
Because once we put world class on Christian Pulisic, there's no taking it back.
Correct. Now, before we do that, we were talking about the best ever U.S. And honestly, I want to nail you guys down on exactly who you think. My personal answer is here's my answer. Pulisic could be at the end of his career. Currently, he is cleared by a country mile any other outfield player ever. The only person ahead of Pulisic in my brain is Tim Howard. Because look at Everton. If Everton not only would have been relegated, like not only were Everton not relegated, but they were in the top 10 every season with Tim Howard. And the second he left, guess what? They've been 17th every year since.
How about this, Toke? Pulisic is ahead of everybody. Tim Howard is slightly behind Pulisic.
Yes.
In your opinion?
Yes.
I mean, in my opinion, it is. I mean, I get what Tim Howard. I get what Tim Howard did.
Yes.
And you're right. Whatever Tim, by all means, all respect. But obviously, it always, this is a common thing in soccer, is the goalkeeper never gets the glory unless they're saving up a penalty. But like, Christian Pulisic is ahead of the whole pack. Tim Howard is literally right behind him because everything he achieved in Everton. Come on, he was, Friedel and Casey Keller, they had stints with different clubs.
Yeah, I almost said that. I think Friedel might have had like the best season ever as an American keeper, but like as a career, Tim Howard had a better career in my opinion.
Yeah, because Tim Howard actually had that in a consistent level. Like he stuck with Everton for a couple of years. It wasn't like, like Casey Keller was bouncing between, Premier Leagues and championship teams with La Liga bottom teams and mid-table teams, and vice versa. Friedel the same thing. Friedel just hung around English teams.
Casey. Why can't you think of his goddamn name? You just said it.
Friedel, Casey Keller.
Casey Keller. He actually played in Germany too, and he has been super salty lately about all sorts of stuff. I hope everything's okay at home for him.
But I mean, honestly,
hold on, DPG. You kind of shocked me because I personally would have called it hating, but I felt like you were kind of a Christian Pulisic hater, and it slightly shocks me to hear you say you think he's already the best American ever.
The reason why I'm saying this now is because you were hyping Christian Pulisic before any of this started. You're like, oh my god. Like I'm telling you, bro, calm down, because he could be an injury away from like this all ending.
I disagree. This had started before this. This started well before. This has been going on to the point where Toke's like, let's tune in.
But not at this level. Not at this level.
Yes. Okay.
Not
that's
at
fair.
this level. He's
achieved a new level. Yes.
I mean, pandemic Pulisic was something to see, man.
But I mean, he's achieved like this man is contributing to AC Milan both in the Serie A and the Champions League. This man is scoring in the Champions League. That was a fantasy on its own for any USMNT fans 15 years ago. Now it's literally a reality.
Man, you know what? We didn't think about this, but you just like busted something in my brain. With Pulisic scoring in Europe, I kind of thought like, oh shoot, we should check and see how many Dempsey goals there were in European competition. Yeah. Even though it wasn't Champions League, right? But then it made me think like that goal against Fulham. What do you think we didn't have any thought here, unfortunately, but what do you think the best club goal for a U.S. player ever is? Is it that Dempsey goal?
Dempsey for Tottenham or Dempsey for Fulham? Which?
No, Dempsey for Fulham in the UEFA against Juventus. That like bomb he hit.
Let's see.
And then I guess another one would be another.
Wait, was Dempsey versus who?
Juventus in Europa League. And I'm trying to think of another one. I mean, Brian McBride had a goal that saved promotion saved Fulham from relegation. That's a big one. I mean,
you know what? Those goals. I mean, and not taking anything away from those guys, not taking any of anything away from the significance of those goals. But keep in mind, you just mentioned Brian McBride saved this team from being relegated. Tim Dempsey scored on a Juventus team that was basically in the rebuilding phase. Because let's keep in mind, wasn't this like the season the first season back for Juventus after being relegated to Serie B because of the whole.
It may have been.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that we have Christian Pulisic who's scoring on the best clubs in the world, not fighting relegation, not fighting on not scoring on a club that's on a rebuild. He's scoring on a Champions League game on a regular basis. He's contributing goals on a regular basis. That's saying a lot. 15 years ago, if you would have told me, yeah, we're going to have a kid that's going to be scoring in the Champions League, I would have been like, I don't know. I mean, look
So
what
then
happened
in
to them.
theory, I guess this is probably the best goal in a U.S. For a U.S. player at club level ever, this is Olympico that Pulisic scored,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah.
It's got to be, because the best one before that was Dempsey that James is pulling up here.
It almost looks like, what is it? Is this like, okay. But like
It
I'm
was
saying,
from a minute
They
ago.
had a swing at it.
if you want me to eat crow because I was bashing Pulisic, by all means, I will fucking eat crow.
No, it's not that. I just was shocked to hear you say the logical thing, but like,
Here's-
no, I
here's-
was shocked to
here's
hear
my-
you say he's the best U.S. player ever. That
he
did
is.
shock me.
I mean, if anything,
Already, too, and he's only 26.
I mean, honestly, bro, if anything, he pretty much kind of opened the door wide open for European teams to actually take a chance on younger American players. 'Cause
So,
they're gonna-
James, just a little bit of context. They needed that fourth goal because of goal differential. Like they had to get those goals. Like it wasn't just like, oh, it's a blowout, so Dempsey did something stupid. Like they needed that goal.
Like I can't play it, but all I could do is show it in clips.
No, I feel you.
So,
But I mean,
so
honestly,
there he is.
now
He's
that
on the ball.
DPG
And
kind of
look,
sold
he
me,
just
man.
turns and cranks it. Look at how fast he gets this shot off.
Yeah,
It's actually
It's
pretty.
pretty shocking.
My thing has always been I want to avoid one season wonders. Like last thing I want is for Pulisic to have this amazing season and then not do anything for next season, which is not. It's not looking like it is. As long as things stay stable in AC Milan, there's not like managerial changes or drastic changes. He's gonna continue this.
Well,
but
I
again,
mean, honestly, like for me, I feel like this. We live in a world where if it's not the greatest ever, it's trash. So like, I don't believe that. There's a large swath of things in between. So honestly, I feel like this is Pulisic's wish you were here. Like he already did the dark side of the moon. Like this is him already doing it, quote unquote, again, in my opinion.
you know what? A lot of times, a player needs a change of scenery.
Not wrong.
And you know what?
Like a Gaston
And sometimes yeah, we're still waiting. We're still waiting on that one. But anyways, like, you ever seen maybe that's what Pulisic. Like, I was excited when he signed with Chelsea. I was thinking, oh my god, this kid's gonna like blow up in Chelsea. I was excited, but then he was coming off the bench and not being used as much as I wanted to see him.
I mean,
Like,
he played striker in the Champions League final.
Yeah,
That's not his position.
Yeah, so and that's what kind of got me to like almost second guess, like, man, where is this really his potential? Like, is he gonna end up like jumping around leagues? But the fact is that he got himself in a great situation, AC Milan. Everything started clicking. And you know what? And that goes back to, hey, some players need a change of scenery. And the fact that he got that change of scenery and the fact that he's producing the way he's producing is not only is it making, the argument that, hey, this is probably the greatest U.S. men's national team player or the best U.S. Player ever produced, but now, he's making Chelsea fans pissed off for their clubs.
I love it. By the way, it couldn't happen to a better group of people. Anyway,
I wonder if
wait. I got one last Pulisic question for the two of you. One last Pulisic point. After this year, you know what's going to happen. The teams that have too many players where he's going to have to fight for time are going to come knocking.
Honestly,
that's a problem. That's a good problem.
Does he Jordan Morris this thing and stay at AC Milan, or does he try to go to Real, try to go to
There's
Barcelona.
nothing wrong with staying at AC Milan and becoming A, their talisman, B, they're involved in Champions League year after year after year, and they're at the top of their table. They're consistently fighting for the top of their table. He's in a good squad. If this is the best team he plays with, and he plays here for 10 years, how awesome would that be? How would have Italy loved him?
You know what? That's exactly what I was thinking, James. You basically took the words out of my mouth. Like, I always had this notion that unless you're something of an odd commodity that Real Madrid signs you and you blow up.
Wait, Zlatan Ibrahimovic?
No, not even that. Like, you got your Vinicius, you got like, if you go way back in the day, you had Morientes, you had Raul, you had all Figo. Like, if Real Madrid does that and you blow up, by all means, that's a Real Madrid thing. But you know what's another Real Madrid thing is when they buy players just to buy them and keep them on the bench and basically just kill their career.
Yep.
And we saw that with Michael Owens, we saw it with Kaká, Isco. So, like James said, he should stay at.
Yeah, so wait, hold on. I'm not gonna let you get away with that. Kaká won a fucking Ballon d'Or.
I don't know if he should stay at AC Milan. It's okay for him to stay at AC Milan because.
So
I mean, like, what if he goes over to Britain? If he goes to UK, where does he end up? At a Tottenham or a second or a third place club? He's probably not going to Liverpool or Man City.
Tottenham's going to replace Son with him. Tottenham's going to sell Son and buy him.
What about Liverpool and Salah?
Hold on. But this is the reason why I want him to stay in AC Milan, because he's already settled in. He's producing. He's a major contributing factor to his club. As you mentioned, you know what? If he could Eric Cantona this club, definitely stay in this club. Definitely don't bother moving. Just stay in this club. Mm-hmm. Because I have a feeling that if he goes to anywhere else, there's going to be an adjustment period. You're gonna have to deal with a new manager, with a new form of play, with a new tactic, with new teammates that don't understand what you're doing or don't know how to assist you, so to speak. So, and then what if that doesn't work out? What if that doesn't work out?
No, I want him to stay. It seems to be working, gentlemen. I think. I'm happy to hear your guys' opinions because I've been fully on board with him being world class. Do we have anything else in Europe that we were paying attention to?
No.
Yo, Wrexham. Oh. Somebody was saying Wrexham.
Oh, DBG was just talking about paying attention to him. I'll take a quick peek.
Yeah, let's see where Wrexham's at.
Wrexham, damn near killed them. They're second in Football 1.
I'm rooting for them. I like the whole thing, man.
Honestly, I cannot wait for this team to get to the championship, and then
and then live there for 20 years.
In their first year,
Ryan Reynolds turns around and sells the club.
Oh, they're gonna live. No, they're gonna live in the. Listen, let's not get this twisted. They're getting promoted every year until they hit the championship, and then they're gonna be there like 10 years, and then maybe. But like they're gonna.
I don't think it's
they're going to be Millwall, dog. They're going to be hanging out at that championship.
I don't think Ryan Reynolds has enough money, because, when you look at the Premier League, we're talking about people that are billionaires. You got oil tycoons, you got princes, you got Russian.
Listen, man, there's worse things to life than hanging out in the championship for fucking.
All I'm saying is that you need to have a pretty big wallet to be messing around with the Premier League. That's all I'm saying is, I get that he took this team from the non-league all the way till here, but once you get to Premier League, you got to spend money, man. You got to start bringing in those players. You want to.
What was the name of that cat who used to play for Convey? He had it was AA something.
Wycombe or
huge.
Wickham? Are you talking about Wickham Wanderers?
No, the third place
Jones.
team.
Wickham.
No, he was huge. His name was like
It's not Wycombe. That's Wickham.
Oh, is it?
I call it Wycombe too. It's Wycombe.
It's the Wickham Wanderers.
All right, listen.
Trust me.
This is the first. James correcting me on my pronunciation.
This is the Wickham Wanderers.
I have picked that team before and Champions and then Football Manager games before.
What was his name? Aquafino?
Aquafino?
Oh, he was just there. Hold on, go back. There he is. Third thing on the fourth thing from the left, man. On the top. On the bar there.
Oh, I see it. Go back.
Oh, he's gone. Go back again.
Adebayo?
No.
Adebayo!
There he is.
He's so strong.
Akimpo Akafino. I can't read his name from
Holy
here.
crap, that's all muscle, man.
Akinfenwa, the strongest man.
Akifenwa. Oh my God, that guy was awesome.
The strongest guy in FIFA.
Remember when he told Klopp to WhatsApp him, and he did?
He told who?
Klopp. He won promotion with Convey. I don't know. What did you say? What did you say
Wickham
it was?
Wonders.
Wickham Wonders, man.
Like drop the B. It's like Wickham, like a Wick.
It's like you can't even say Tottenham. You have to say Tottenham.
Wickham Wonders.
You can't. What was the other one? There was another one.
Leicester.
Yeah, Leicester. You can't say Leicester. You have to say
Leicester.
Leicester.
Anyway, all right. So I if we don't have anything else for Europe, I think we need to wrap this one up because we have a lot of thoughts about the Chicago Fire, which is like most of the season, the Fire section was so small compared to the rest of the podcast. And now we just cannot wait. Get those ads off my podcast, dog.
Remember Richie Eze?
He's like, get those ads off my.
Don't get twisted in
Bro,
training.
imagine trying to.
No, hold on.
That guy.
We was wicked. We played direct football. We played back to front.
He was huge.
We used the midfielder. Didn't play through the lines. Ainsworth didn't play us like that. So when you get somebody that's that techie, you're like, oh, wow, we get he's techie, but we need somebody that's just going to win the ball back and do diags because that's how we play.
Shithouse.
Yeah,
he was unplayable. He still is to this day.
It was so.
He's
what you
unplayable.
realise when somebody's just fucking that good.
You know, that's funny, man. It's like
Ainsworth.
Idiots like us over in England are in like the 9th division, right? So they like are playing against people, you know, like they're in that world. Like, and you know, it's funny, like I kind of love MLS podcasts where they talk to like the old schoolers.
So I gotta ask a question.
Yo, there it is.
Oh man, I gotta ask a question here. Cucho Hernandez or this guy?
Baba said, hit me up on WhatsApp.
Ooh.
Because off the bat, I know this man will just like tear
Well,
apart.
remember, Onyewu won an arm wrestling match against Micah Richardson.
You know, because honestly, we both know, I think we're in agreement that him and Onyewu and this guy will probably take on Zlatplan, no problem.
Let's put it this way. Without sounding like an asshole, they need to arm wrestle because I'll put it this way. They're both built enough that the one who knows how to fight better, because they're not both boxers, right? So the one that knows how to fight better would be the one who won that. But like a true test of strength, they need to arm wrestle. Let's make this happen. Let's start tweeting on Yewu. Let's start tweeting Aquafenwa. Or what's in the... Fuck.
Well, first
you
you need to
lead
find
the charge. You could use our Twitter handle
you
to
need
do
to find.
it.
You need to find a table strong enough to hold all that power, man.
And a venue.
You're right. Book the venue. Dude, we'll do it at the Concord right up the street.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh man.
All
right.
You know what? That story cracks me up, man.
In all seriousness, that was kind of our Christian Pulisic segment. So,
you know what,
James,
guys? You know what, boys?
Go
I
ahead.
think it's time. I think it's time that we shorted our AC Milan jerseys.
Oh, I've been an AC Milan fan since FIFA 99. I could get on board. I could get on board with that.
You know, when I really first started paying attention to European soccer, the special one was coaching Inter. So it's hard for me to love AC Milan, but Pulisic is making me do it.
That is
Oh,
fair.
man, you
You
don't remember the days of Paolo Maldini, Costa Curta, Inzaghi, Gattuso, the Brazilian goalkeeper. I forgot his name.
You know, I'm extremely prejudiced against European people. No, in all seriousness, like I was into that Inter team that had Balotelli, Ibrahimovic, Corrans, or what was his name? Yeah, and God, that was a stacked team. I forget who was on it.
Man,
You don't like when the original Ronaldo played in Inter?
What about Lick Button?
You know, Fat Ronaldo was retiring soccer. Like
Inter didn't have Fat Ronaldo.
Yes, they did.
No, Inter had
Hold on. Fat Ronaldo played for both Milans and both Real Madrid and Barcelona. Hold on, James. I need you to Wikipedia this right now, dog.
What? Fat
Ronaldo.
What about
Wikipedia him?
He was
Ronaldo Nazir or whatever.
Yeah, what about him?
Ronaldo.
Well, what teams did he play for?
I'm telling you, Skinny Ronaldo played for Inter.
Cruzeiro, PSV, Barcelona,
you're saying
Inter Milan, Real Madrid, AC Milan, Corinthians.
I said Skinny Ronaldo played for Inter Milan.
Wait,
yeah, but
Cristiano
I typed in Fat Ronaldo.
No, I'm talking about this.
Okay.
The only problem with Ronaldo and Inter was that he got hurt.
You're right. No, he was struggling.
He got hurt.
God, could you imagine the best teams in the world being in Italy? Ew, gross. That was a horrible time.
That was a very
I know, that's what I said. What a horrible time. 1-0 everywhere.
I think I seen like AC Milan playing like the Champions League final like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, like, I remember being such a broken brain first time like watching club soccer in Europe and being like Diego Milito scored 2. Yeah, Diego Milito scored 2 goals in the Champions League final. Why isn't he in Argentina's squad? You know, but he was not the best Argentinian striker at the time.
Well, those teams like Argentina, France, all those like big national teams, they have so much talent that you can do amazing in your club. But if you cannot do anything for a national team, they'll drop you. Back in the day
before Spain did the false 9, they had Torres up front, and David Villa was the Golden Boot winner in La Liga and couldn't get on the field. Anyway, all right.
That reminds me of the time that Gigi Buffon had to go play up against his cousin, Like Button. And like button, which is go hit that like button. We'll be right back from a message after a message from these wonderful people. All right, everybody, welcome back to Enemies of the Fire. Now, what do Weston McKinnie, the U.S. men's national team, Greg Berhalter, and the Chicago Fire have in common? Well, you're about to find out. Let's dig into it. Weston McKinnie, boys, do you guys think that he's actually coming to Chicago Fire?
No.
I second that. I
third that. I think it's a good deal. Do we have to spend any more words that Weston McKinnie is possibly coming to Chicago Fire, and we will eat the massive amount of crow should he come?
Hold on. I'll say this: the only way he comes is if it is a 2024 equivalent of what the 2014 Clint Dempsey deal was. Does that make sense? Like, it has to be as big this year as the Dempsey deal was that year.
I don't want it to be, because Dempsey was still over 30 when he was coming back. McKinney's still in his 20s. I just don't. I don't see that being enough, the lure of money plus American soccer. But however, playing with Greg Berhalter's system, he is going to be involved in a rigorous system that's going to demand a lot from him. And he's probably going to be relied as, if he was a Chicago Fire DP at that point, coming in at like 10 to 20 million, he would be relied on to be the talisman, the one of the main breadwinners, so to speak. Not necessarily a goal scorer, but the face of the franchise.
He'd have to do everything other than
and what a partner for Acosta that could be.
Listen, it is an absolute dream, but that's because he is of a top 5 league quality. That's the thing. He is of quality to be in the top 5 leagues in the world. And so that's why it's such a dream. You know what's 1,000% more likely is Jackson Ewell is headed here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's yeah. Leave McKinnie and Juventus. Let him,
Yes.
just let him play top flight football. Let him play top world-class football. Don't bother bringing him over here. I don't know why people are getting hyped up about this. I don't even know why people think it's a good idea. Because
That's a good point.
For a U.S. men's national team, we're trying to develop. We're trying to get better. We're not going to get better by playing in the MLS. Not yet, at least. We're only going to get
Messi
better.
is here. Mhm.
Yeah, but Messi's 30-something years old.
Right.
I mean,
Like,
Messi is older, but like the problem is
Messi already has a World Cup under his belt. McKinnie doesn't.
I don't think he's going to get one anytime soon, but...
I know, but like, let's be honest. Like, it made way more sense for Messi to come, even though he's technically a better footballer than McKinnie.
Yes,
like
let's
be honest.
for the place he is in his Messi is in his career compared to McKinnie. McKinnie's still young, and as DPG said, he could still go to any one of the top 5 leagues. Why would you settle for the 10th best league when you could still play one of the top 5 leagues and make a show boatload of money, play against the best, challenge yourself, and maybe even get better?
You know why? You know why Toke is like trying to defend the move? Because he's a Jordan Morris fan.
No, I'm not trying to defend this move at all. Like, this move kills his national team career, but makes the Chicago Fire like the next Miami. Like, we're gonna be like, that's how good he is.
I agree. Yeah, that's a good point. It does make him.
Like, honestly, I will say up until about recently, I would say the U.S. men's national team was my absolute favorite team ever. But the Fire have been bad so long. I don't care whose career with the national team is ruined. Come here. Win us some titles, man. Like, that's how I really feel. Like, McKinnie isn't coming. We're looking at Jackson Ewell. We're looking at other players. I mean, Dwayne Holmes. Let's get Dwayne Holmes over here, dog.
Ahmed Musa?
What was that
Musa
kid
do
that...
it? Or is it still too early on Musa because he's in the similar
Musa
boat? He could still probably play in a top 7 league.
What was that
He
Hulk
has
kid?
so much upside with his youth. He's only 21 years old, if he's even 21. Like, Musa's youth is so much on his side that Milan is happy to sit him on the bench. They want him to hang out. They're going to hang on to him because in 3 years, technically, in their mind, he's all of a sudden going to run their midfield. You know what I mean? Like, Musa's on a track. Like, him not playing sucks for the U.S. team.
So...
him not playing is amazing for his career because he's believed in by AC Milan.
He's on a track. I like how you said that. Now, I ask if any of these next few guys are on a track. Ethan Horvath. Is Ethan Horvath on a track to be a featured player in the U.S. men's national team?
You know who Ethan Horvath is? Ethan Horvath is Brad Guzan. A really good player at his position, but everyone else around him is better.
That is a good point. I like that call.
That sucks.
We also
got for him.
Let me see what the comments is on the top. I got to read that.
It says, meet the U.S. men's national team most mid 11. Requirements. You are shit for the national team compared to club form. You're vastly overrated from a majority of the fan base. You make me want to poke, this makes me want to poke the tweeter's eyes out every time he touches the ball. And that is Lund, Carter Vickers, Richard Scally, Cardoso, Wright, Aronson, Tillman, Weah, and Sargent.
Let's back that back up. We talked about the keeper. Let's go down this. Let's go down the rest of this.
So Lund's up and coming. Carter Vickers, I think you could kind of move. You know, if he
Carter Vickers is solid. Carter Vickers is a total Jordan Morris person because if Carter Vickers really wanted to, he'd be on a championship or a Premier League side.
But he doesn't want to, is what you're saying?
Well, no, because he plays, he's respected, he's paid, and he's loved.
Mm-hmm. So is that Christian Pulisic's future at AC Milan?
Come on, Celtic and
yes,
Celtic.
but that's different. That's like
hold on.
Is happy.
Hold on.
You know what I mean?
There's a huge difference between AC Milan Christian Pulisic playing in AC Milan, and Carter Vickers playing in Celtic. One league is not like the other. All right.
Both get Champions League football.
One league has maybe one or two strikes. One league.
One game doesn't count as Champions League.
No, one league only has one or two sharks, including Celtic. The other one has a whole freaking pod of killer sharks in that league. So, yeah. So Celtic, basically, the Scottish League is nothing but Rangers and Celtic. That's it. Serie A, man, you got a whole slew. Any of those teams can go up to the top.
I'm seeing a lot of similarities in these players, and the fact that most of them, maybe outside of Aronson, I would say, but they don't create for themselves. Like Sargent, especially. Like Sargent is the type of striker. Whoa!
I have so many problems with this list. We got to go guy by guy here.
Geez.
I am sorry.
Okay.
Oh, geez, I opened up a can of worms. I wasn't planning to spend this much time, boys.
Let's go. Let's talk about your guy, Scally.
Let me put it this way. Okay, hold on.
All right, so go rip through them.
Let me condense. Chris Richards is about to be the best center back of this generation, and if he hits his potential, the best one ever other than Eddie Pope.
Wow.
Now, he may not hit his potential.
I love Eddie Pope.
He may not hit his potential. Scally, good backup. Dest and Robinson are some of our top, are our top 5 players.
Absolutely.
2 of our top 5.
Yes.
So, like, it doesn't matter what Lund's
you even got
doing,
DPG nodding about Dest.
Doesn't matter what Reggie Cannon's doing. Who gives a shit? Cardoso overrated.
Crazy guy. You need a crazy guy in the back line.
Aronson sucks because he's the coach's favorite because he works so hard, but he just isn't quite there enough. Haji Wright is about to be our striker. Timothy Weah, you know me. I've been a Timothy Weah truther from day one. I am in love with this kid. I think this kid comes to the U.S. and plays like Maradona and goes to the club team and plays like Michael Owen. And then Josh Sargent is 3rd on my striker depth chart, and his hype is overblown. And I don't want to bring this up, but I'm going to say it right now. There's a racial element to his, like, the champions of his, like, starting spot. Now, he has fans that's not a part of, and yada yada, but I really do feel like Josh Sargent gets the MAGA crowd, despite not necessarily.
I don't think so at all. I would
disagree.
Let's call it for what it is. Let's call it for what it is. Let's call it for what it is. Hold on.
Blaze him.
I'm just gonna say this, and this is again. I don't care how the guy looks,
or how he votes,
or how he votes. But if the guy doesn't perform, why would I keep him on the lineup? Like, we know that there are much better strikers than Josh Sargent. I always thought there was always a hype behind him. Like,
I thought that he was more of a clinical finisher. That's where. So all of our strikers kind of lack this ability to separate, to create for themselves. They basically need Pulisic to do something. They need somebody else to do something. They get the hold up ball and they can't create from themselves from that moment. Whether it's Sargent, whether it's Balogun, whether it's Pepe, whether it's any of the guys, all of them. And so what if you don't have a guy who is that striker type person who can create for themselves? Then maybe you need someone who is a killer in front of the net, who when they do get the one chance in the drought of chances, does pot it and does put it in the back of the net. I don't know if that's Sargent, Pepe. But
here's another thing
Malik
too
Tillman, right, or Pepe, or who, or Balogun, or who it is. But we need someone. If we don't have that creator type person who could create for themselves, we need someone who is at least a deadly clinical finisher for the one chance they get a game.
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but you know whenever national teams play, there's always a lot of creativity in the midfield and attacking. There's not so much, hey, we'll make all the creativity and you just stand there and kick it in. There's not so much of that. It's more or less making your own space, making your own move. And I don't think Josh Sargent is capable of that, and that's fine. If he can score goals in his club team, by all means. But again, it goes back to that argument where some guys are just good club players and other guys are just good national team players.
That's true. I will say about Josh Sargent, I don't discredit him. I'm a fan. I think he's good. I still have him third.
You said
on my
third
depth
best.
chart.
Like, yeah, he's still a good American
He's
player.
third best in my opinion. And you know what? He has a possibility of blowing up at Norwich and jumping everybody, but he hasn't shown
I think
it.
the possibility is growing less and less and less likely over time.
You know, I did hear it was like somebody backed up the Brinks truck for him for MLS, and it was close.
I mean, you know what? If you give me this list of guys, and if you were to tell me which is the one guy that's most likely to go to MLS, probably Josh Sargent.
Guys, who would you rather have, Hugo Kuipers or Josh Sargent?
Ooh.
Easy call for me.
Hold on.
Easy
Absolutely
Hugo.
depends on who your wingers and midfielders are.
I like how Hugo Kuipers hustles, man.
Yeah,
I don't
agree.
See,
I'm a Hugo Kuipers side.
I'm a Kuipers fan.
I'd
Okay.
rather have Kuipers
I don't
than
see Josh
Sargent.
Sargent going dead.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say of this list.
Let us know in the comments
these
below.
players
Who would
in
you rather
front of
have?
James, I love it. All right. In all seriousness, this list, there are 3 players that I feel are above MLS level. Like, it would be a travesty if they came to MLS. That was Weah, Aronson, and Wright.
Dude, I don't want Lund here either. Get Lund out of here. That guy's showing flashes.
Richards.
Oh, Richards for sure.
No,
Horvath I could
only
bring.
4...
Scally I could bring. Carter Vickers I could bring. Cardosa, I don't care. Come on back. And Sargent.
That's how I feel. God, this is the most mid U.S. lineup in history.
you got Tillman. You got Tillman. I mean,
well, we'll move past the midfielder and potentially talk maybe real quick. So I was wondering who could be next after Christian Pulisic. Will it be Quinn Sullivan? As he stays in Philadelphia.
How come I get Freddy Adu vibes with this guy?
Because you've been hurt before.
Yeah, that's probably that's what it is. I get Freddy Adu.
Will this guy be involved with the World Cup?
No.
You know what? He very well could be. You know, I'm famous for saying there are 3 guys who we've never heard of who will be major players at the next World Cup. Right? And
isn't this kid like 15 years old or something like that?
Or is that Cavan?
Yes, but
is that Cavan? Because there's a different one.
No, Cavan's like 15. Hold on.
Cavan Sullivan. They're both Sullivans. Are they brothers?
All right.
Cavan's. Wow. Yeah. They're both play for Philadelphia. Yeah, the Cavan brothers. The Sullivan brothers. I'm sorry.
So I'll say this. Think about our youngest teenagers ever.
Okay.
The two of them. Think of maybe like somebody like Justin Mapp came in mad early or whatever, but like who are our true 2 youngest like phenoms? It's Freddy Adu and Bobby Convey.
Oh yeah, I'd agree.
Oh, the fact that you're bringing Bobby Convey. Ooh.
Well, hold on.
I'd agree.
You know what? If I was Bobby Convey, all right. If I was Bobby Convey, I would go to bed happy and fine and comfortable with who I was in my career.
100%.
So really, we're fucking 50% on phenoms, right? So like, I mean, the Sullivans might do. What is going on? The Sullivans and Paxsons are just
the Pomacals.
Yeah, but the Paxsons don't do much though. It's like they had like this little hype for a little bit, and then it just, and that's it. It's like you know how remember when people were all hyped up on Ferreira?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, dude, talk about. Hold on. Last night, Bronny and LeBron James was on the same field. Did David Ferreira and his kid ever play together?
You'd have to Google that. But
hold on? Did I just say fucking field for basketball?
Basketball court.
Oh God.
All right.
That about wraps up our Sullivan segment. Yeah. I'll move on to our next one, which I think is a pretty crazy deal. Paul Tenorio reports that MLS is considering moving to a fall-spring calendar. Now, potentially as soon as 2026. It's still being discussed and studied at multiple levels. The details are here within. So this is from Paul Tenorio, courtesy of the New York Times. Major League Soccer is considering the overhaul of its calendar, flipping to a fall-spring season with breaks in the summer and winter. Multiple sources briefed on the league's discussions tell The Athletic. MLS executives and owners have been weighing the changes of the calendar, which they believe will help maximize the league's participation in the global transfer market, among other benefits. The hope is for the league to institute the changes as early as the summer 2026 coming out of the World Cup. MLS Executive Vice President of Sporting Product Competition, future MLS President. That's our own little aside here from Enemies of the Fire. You heard it here first. Nelson Rodriguez told The Athletic, it is still too soon, quotes, in quotes, too soon to know if MLS will institute changes or what those changes could be. We've engaged really since January, and it's been very extensive and exhaustive and deliberate, Rodriguez said. It's still too early. We're still asking questions. We're still collecting and analyzing some data. We're still formulating models. Some of these models
Can I add something?
Some of these models are the format themselves. Some of these models are how to assess the information that we get.
No, I guess not.
Go on.
So just because I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Nelson Rodriguez hates us so much that he's gonna make us sit in a freaking blizzard to watch the Fire play.
You know that's not true. We'll have backloaded. Honestly, this is the best schedule that could possibly happen for us. We'll have backloaded home games. Anyway, no. In all seriousness, like I kind of wanted this for a long time as a soccer fan. For obvious reasons. Right?
What are the obvious reasons?
Be on everybody else's schedule.
Do you really want to buy lukewarm hot chocolate at Soldier Field in the middle of December? Or early December?
No, I've already been there, done that. Like, it just this sucks because the American soccer Baba Yaga, Nelson Rodriguez, if he's for something, I immediately think I need to be against it. And for a long time, I was for being on the same schedule as the rest of the world. But what if England had to schedule games based on how the weather was in Kiev? You know what I'm saying? You just can't. We vary so much in temperature and weather that it just can't. And honestly, for America, MLS is growing every year, not nearly as fast as any of us think it can if we were to get rid of the salary cap. But eventually it's going to overtake baseball. It really is. It's just really building like that. And this is the perfect time because you know what? Everybody loves their throw ball here in the States. And it's get out of the fucking way.
Let me dig in more to this.
And could you imagine playing against NBA? Could you imagine I gotta try and go to the Fire game.
Stop right there. Let me dig into this because what you're talking about is exactly what they're talking about. A change would certainly impact MLS's competition in the American sports calendar. The MLS Cup playoffs, which started this week, are up against the MLB playoffs, college football, and the NFL, as well as the NBA, college basketball, and the NHL regular seasons all getting underway. Under the new calendar, the playoffs would likely be played in April and May, with most of the competition coming from the Stanley Cup playoffs and the start of the MLB season. Maybe a little bit. No, that's not NBA playoffs there. That'll be June. And here's a little picture of how it breaks down that they're imagining, right? Here's the week of October of right now. NFL, baseball, NHL, basketball all on Sunday. NFL, NHL Monday. And NBA, NHL, MLS, NCAA football on Tuesday. Look at this. This is crazy. It's so jam-packed. MLS is holding group meetings with sporting directors, chief business officers, and owners at this time. Rodriguez said that the league has done extensive fan polling and, quote, we're going back into the field with another fan survey, quote, to prove what we need to prove, unquote. The league is also planning, I added that last part, the league is also planning to have fan and player focus groups to gauge interest and hear concerns about changes because this is how Nelson Rodriguez operates. And he also says, quote, this impacts the entire ecosystem, according to Rodriguez. So why make the changes? Altering the schedule could have multiple benefits from a competitive standpoint. from syncing up the league's transfer windows with the European calendar to maximizing the visibility of the playoffs in the American sports calendar. The vast majority of global transfer business is done in the summer window. That currently falls in the middle of the MLS season, which creates a lot of conflict for teams hoping to buy and sell players. A problem that has been felt more acutely as MLS players and MLS teams have become more active in the international market. Teams that want to sell players in the summer, when they're at their highest value, must weigh losing some of their best players in the middle of the season, with little time to replace them. The MLS and League's Cup schedule also means that summer signings arrive with fewer than 10 games left in the regular season. That's not a lot of time to get acclimated. Sporting directors looking to buy players during the summer window have also complained that the U.S. summer window closes way too early to fully leverage the market. With the MLS window closing before most European windows are shut, teams find that these players want to wait to see what their other options are, and it causes MLS teams to miss out and lose potential signings. MLS clubs essentially cannot benefit from the dominoes that fall later in the transfer window with the current setup as is. Quote, I wish our window was a little bit more friendly to us, Charlotte FC sporting director Zoran Kornetes told MLS Soccer during the summer. I'm a big advocate for the window being moved to like September 5th, because we would not only have more chances to pick up really good players, but we'll also have a chance to pick up the players that suddenly are surplus to requirements. Sometimes with those deals that fall in the last 2 days, the club's like, okay, what do we do now? It would be really smart move by American clubs and Major League Soccer, the league, if they changed. The league was keen to change it this year, but they couldn't for various other reasons. But this is where we need to go to be super competitive, end quote. While the transfer window is determined by the Canadian Soccer Association and U.S. Soccer, not MLS, a move to the fall-spring schedule could help alleviate some of those issues.
Okay. I apologize, but I'm going to jump in right now and give my 2 cents, which wasn't asked for.
I love it. Bring it.
I'll say this. Personally, the ability to fill the stadiums will always outrank the TV, despite TV being more important, because if it looks lame on TV, ain't nobody going to watch it. Right? So I feel like this. Like I said, I came to the league as a person who cared, who wanted to who wants us on the same schedule because I wanted signings. I wanted it all to work. I'm willing to take what we have, which is like you either have to sign guys who are ungood with, who aren't doing well with their teams at the beginning of the MLS season.
Wait, so you're saying you like the limitations? This guy was just saying, the coach was saying that he can't get guys who are deemed surplus to requirements because their window just closes too early. And these guys who would otherwise become available to MLS are no longer.
I mean, honestly, I feel like it's more important to have games with full stadiums or else nothing, like it will not.
Well, don't you fill those stadiums with having quality players on the pitch?
You do, but like, listen, I mean, I listen. I know this is anecdotal, but I'll put it this way. For MLS to survive and for MLS to thrive, it needs something the NFL has. And you know what the NFL has that other leagues don't? People who don't know anything who give a shit. People who don't know anything about anything. Like my fiance just will be like, oh, the Bears won? Cool. She knows nothing of nothing. She doesn't, it's all sports ball to her. Like, perfect example. We went to a game earlier this season. It was the one where they gave away the baseball jersey. So we went into the stadium mad early. And literally 45 minutes before kickoff, we're in the stadium. We got our little baseball jerseys on. She goes, if you don't go buy me a blanket right now, I'm leaving. Like, you're not going to be mad at me if I go home, right? And that was 45 minutes before the game. Meaning, like, the weather was so... I bought the blanket, and it's awesome, by the way. It's on my couch right now. But anyway, like, meaning that, like, she was going to bounce because it was so cold. And, like, that was already on this schedule where supposedly we have summer games. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but June, July, and August, we had like 5 games over 3 months. You know what I mean? Like that's what sucks, is because Soldier Field is used for concerts and yada yada. Like, so if we were on the winter schedule, when is Chicago going to get home games? Either like front loaded at the beginning and loaded at the end. Nothing in the middle. Like it just, America does not work with the global soccer calendar. And guess who else doesn't do it? Mexico.
Can I talk
Guess
about
who
how
else
the
doesn't
schedule
do it? Brazil.
Can I talk about how the schedule would change? So, because we don't necessarily know that yet. But so with these changes, the MLS season would begin, like most European leagues, in early August. The first portion of the schedule would run through mid-December, kind of like NFL, before taking a winter break, likely around 5 weeks long. The season would then resume in early February and run through spring, with MLS Cup late in May.
February in Chicago is garbage.
It is.
Well,
so you'd have to schedule Southern games.
Keep in mind, a lot of our home openers always started in March. Our season starts in March. So I have sat through those cold nights in the spring. I've actually gone to Fire games where, hey, there's still frost, there's still ice on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it is too cold to be playing, sitting at Soldier Field in front of
February.
the lake, and in front of the lakefront in early February to sit up to watch a Fire game. Now, granted,
move it to Lincoln Yards.
If they figure out a way to schedule all these cold weather teams down south for the first month or so, and then during the middle of the season, bring it back up north a little bit.
Yeah, but is that competitively balanced? Because either the southern teams either rack up points or they struggle out the gate, and then all of a sudden they're done for the rest of the season.
That's a good point.
Well, I mean, does England get as cold as it does here?
Very
Not
rainy.
really.
No, it doesn't.
No, it's
No.
very
Not
rainy.
really. It doesn't get as hot and it doesn't get as cold. You know what I mean?
But what about the Scandinavian
nation.
league or something like that?
Well, the Scandinavian leagues and Russia take like 2 months off.
So they're talking about a 5-week break here. A schedule change would flip the MLS playoffs and the MLS Cup to a less crowded portion of the American sports schedule. A warm weather MLS Cup with less competition from other sports league is certainly appealing to all owners. A fall-spring calendar would also mean that MLS, like the rest of the world, would pause the season during all FIFA international windows, which would be a welcome change for most teams and players, to be honest. Columbus Crew...
Yeah, MLS is finally getting to the point where international breaks are affecting teams.
The playoffs are the most valuable piece of real estate in a league season. And playoffs that would be in the spring or summer suggest a very different dynamic, Nelson Rodriguez said. It starts with the fact that the weather is closer to optimal for all 30 clubs. Your stadium conflicts are a little bit less, competition with other North American sports is different, and you're more aligned with at least the European rhythm of football, so those are factors. They also come with their own sets of trade-offs. The league is also weighing the possibility of organizing teams into divisions instead of conferences and playing part of the schedule as intra-conference and intra-divisional play only with playoff spots on the line. The second half of the season...
Why does Nelson Rodriguez hate soccer?
The second half
is
the
the worst.
You know what? I kind of like if we didn't have to go sit at Soldier Field from like mid-December all the way to like the end of February. It could be doable. I mean, crap! I sat in at Toyota Park the first week on March to watch the Fire play for a home opener. So, I mean, if you take off January, if you take off most of February, it's doable.
So we're gonna
let's be honest here. The best time to go to the Fire games is in the springtime when it starts getting warm, and in the fall when it's beginning to get cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody wants to sit in 100-degree weather in the middle of the summer for a 12 o'clock game.
Let alone in Miami, right?
You know what? Like that 5 o'clock game this past weekend made me think like how much I want more noon game. Like remember the game?
You'd get noon October games. You'd be getting them with this schedule.
I will like those kind of games. Just not in the summer.
Well, listen, are we getting like? as long as we're at Soldier Field and as long as the Bears aren't in Arlington Heights, like, how's our schedule look? Like, we're playing at Bridgeview half the games if this change
You got a good
happens.
point. You got a good point.
Now, granted, like, we're gonna talk a lot about stadium shit later, but like, I don't know, man. I feel like I personally feel like there isn't, I've come to the realization long ago that it just isn't possible for American soccer to be the exact same as European. It just isn't. And that's okay.
Yeah, so I mean that's fine, but the owners money talks, and the money talks bigger when they have when they change this system.
I'll tell you what, you go up against football more than you go up against baseball, and you're gonna lose money.
Interesting. So the second half of the season would then help determine the full playoff seeding and spots with this suggested system. The MLS Players Association will play a crucial role in these discussions, and Rodriguez said the league is working with the MLSPA to ensure it gets player feedback. The league will need player sign-off on any schedule changes, especially because the collective bargaining agreement requires that each player is entitled to 6 weeks of vacation per year, with 5 consecutive weeks of vacation time required. So
hold on. Does that count like a January break?
I think
quote
so.
unquote, or does that
That's not enough time. That wouldn't be enough time. Because they need 5 consecutive weeks, right? Well, I mean, yeah, I guess are they really gonna go on vacation in January in the middle of a season?
That's when you go to Florida
That's the perfect
or
time.
Hawaii.
That's the perfect time to go to Barbados.
Would you no? But I mean, either that, or go or wait till the summer to go take your actual vacation,
or go skiing.
Because keep in mind, I mean, I'm sure.
Don't get a summer break. It's way better.
Yeah, I'm sure once these guys go on vacation,
the players are like, summer break? Sign me up. Are you kidding me?
I'm reminded again where, like, I saw a tweet not too long ago where it was like, your rich friend will look you dead in the eye and ask you if you ski.
All right, let me finish this. We're almost done with this amazing article by Paul Tenorio. And we're going to cover real quick. What are the drawbacks? Well,
that right there's a drawback. Right, what we're looking at right now.
Right there.
No,
what are the drawbacks?
I love the orange ball.
The league would no longer.
It's not so much the game itself; it's just sitting through it. That's the drawback.
Word.
So the league would no longer play from around June 1st through July 15th, and it would replace those weeks of games with games from early November through mid-December. That might be welcomed by fans of cities like Dallas, Orlando, Miami, Houston, and Austin, but it would be difficult for markets like Toronto, Chicago, Minnesota, Salt Lake City, Montreal, and New England, which see the summer months as their most attractive and profitable weeks of the season, typically. Sources involved in and briefed on discussions said that there has been concern about a potential calendar change from certain MLS stakeholders that play in the colder markets. The league hopes to gain more insight by surveying fans in different markets to determine whether they would go to games played in winter months, especially in those markets most impacted by the weather.
Yeah, nothing says watching an MLS game in February like a polar vortex.
Which tickets?
I gotta say, I'm so shocked. I used to be the guy who couldn't wait for us to get on the international calendar. And now I'm the guy who's like, nah, dog.
You know why? Because you're a season ticket holder now.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
While
You're not wrong.
It's true. That changes how you feel about it. While ticket sales would likely be impacted, there are also other logistical issues to consider, including the impact on training environments. Teams in colder climates might be forced to train inside on turf, for example.
Well, we have an indoor training facility, right?
Well, they're building one, and then I recall the Fire using the Fire Pub, or the
Fire Pub. They play inside at the Fire Pub when it's too.
Yeah.
So I've never been out there. Is that cool? Who's been out there? Have either of you guys been out there?
I have.
Is
I've
it
been a few
cool?
times.
Like
it's
I've heard they like have game watch-alongs and stuff.
So the Fire pitch, if you go on game day when they're playing away, it's worth going because they do raffles. Actually, my brother-in-law won a raffle. He won an autographed jersey by the team in 2017. So this man has an autographed jersey by Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Oh my God!
And
Hold
so-
on. Did your brother-in-law like
Boys,
the fire?
we're getting off
before
track here.
being
Let
your
me finish.
Hold on.
We're getting off track
Go
here.
ahead. Go ahead.
So,
go
any
ahead.
consideration? This is from the mouth of Nelson Rodriguez, who skis in his jeans. Rumor has it.
No, refer to him by his proper name.
but yeah, I know, man.
Clown Shoes McGillicuddy? I don't know.
Baba Yaga, dog.
Baba Yaga. Any consideration set has a different impact across all of our clubs, and so that becomes a part of the balance, Rodriguez said. The greatest strength of our single entity system is our ability to work as partners off of the field and our ability to evaluate our business. Our business being commercial, sporting, and brand. And that has proven to be a great aid in this process because there has been an amazing spirit of collaboration, not just internally among all departments at MLS, but among all of our clubs and the owners. So there are other hurdles to figure out as well. The League's Cup is currently played for 1 month in the middle of the summer, interrupting the entire regular season as it is. MLS is weighing different formats and timing for the League's Cups that would fit into this new calendar, including potentially playing in the tournament in January and February with teams in pods in warmer weather locales like California, Texas, and Florida.
No,
So
thank you.
Is the Fire going to buy us a plane ticket to go?
Doubtful. The league would also have to determine how the U.S. Open Cup and Canadian Championship fits into the new calendar, though MLS pulled back its participation in the U.S. Open Cup, so this almost doesn't matter. This issue could end up holding...
Hold on, though. Isn't U.S. Soccer like really pressuring them to again next year?
Say it again?
I'm hoping they bring back.
U.S. Soccer is starting to put the pressure on MLS to be involved next year.
I'll believe it when I see it. These issues could end up holding up the calendar switch, though. The league previously held discussions on potential change in competition format back in 2013 and 2014, but opted not to make a change back then. With the World Cup around the corner, however, discussions about the calendar now feel like they have real momentum, though Rodriguez has cautioned, though Baba Yaga has cautioned, it was simply too soon to know. We are at a different point in our evolution as a league, Baba Yaga was saying. With the World Cup, we have more eyes on us than ever before. And so it has been really rewarding that no one has been territorial and everyone has been thoughtful and collaborative. I think there's a recognition that this is the right time to be doing this level of analysis. Quote from Baba Yaga himself, Nelson Rodriguez.
I guess I don't care that. I guess I don't care that much.
Paul
I
Tenorio.
guess I care about my like going to the game. That's about the most of it. But like, I don't know, man. It feels really crazy because it feels like you're either gonna have to take all the current contracts and reduce them by 6 months or extend them by 6 months, and then our stupid roster rules kick in, and like it becomes like promotion relegation. Like I always say, with promotion relegation, you can't snap your fingers and be like, this is the year. You have to do like 10 years, and the 3 worst teams after 10 years are the first relegation. Then you do it year after year.
But
right?
You know what?
So
the argument with the whole cold weather situation, I mean, think about it this way. I mean, you got Bears fans that'll sit out in below zero without a t-shirt.
But like they've been conditioned.
We need to be conditioned, bro.
MLS is still so young. We have to make it so easy. That's
I see more positives than negatives in this change too. I agree with Paul Tenorio 100%. I see more positives than negatives with this change. Yeah, you might lose a little attendance during the cold weather months.
You know what?
You'll make it up when people are actually showing up for the playoffs and for the last games of the season, because April, May are way more appealing.
Well, another thing too is it'll be better in terms of strategizing for the team, because now we can actually buy players during the summer window, during the winter window,
and get players that are surplus to requirements, who are no longer needed, who would otherwise be available.
Because how many times have you heard the bullshit argument? We gotta wait till the summer to buy our guy. We gotta wait till the winter to buy our guy.
And then even then, DPG, like half the time, as we even learned in that article, sometimes they don't come because they got other options, and then the window closes, those options close, and they still don't have those options close for them, but so is the MLS window. They can't come anymore.
And also, Paul Tenor is secretly a Fire fan.
He is, absolutely.
He is, man. I live in Chicago. Yes, we know you wear a Fire jersey underneath that jacket, Paul.
And speaking of wearing a Fire jersey, when we come back, we're going to be discussing a little bit of the Chicago Fire before we shut down the podcast. Thanks for hanging out here on Enemies of the Fire. Make sure you guys take that like button and put it nicely on the ground and give it a nod. A nod and a poke. Poke it. We'll see you on the other side later. Be right back.
Welcome back, fellow enemies of fire. We are here to talk about the Chicago Fire, which is what we do. Gentlemen, the season's over. We went to the game last Saturday. We saw them lose emphatically to a team that was already out of the playoffs and yada yada. And it's technically our worst season ever. How do you guys feel? Part of this was really like couched in the Greg Berhalter news for me.
I think everybody saw the writing on the wall, bro. I think everybody saw the writing on the wall. Nobody was really there. Everybody was more excited just to see what Greg will do, which, that's honestly, I'm looking more towards what's going to happen in the offseason. So,
yeah, nobody covered themselves in glory in a final chance to impress Triple G.
So
no, I mean, final game for Frank Klopas, and
I was going to say that
3-0.
So Frank Klopas, thank you for your service for this club.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being such a custodian of this club. Joe Mansueto was right when he said there's nobody that he has met that loves this club as much as Frank Klopas. So if there's one guy,
hold on. Can I backtrack real quick?
Yeah.
Not to beat a dead horse dead, but like Frank Klopas, Jordan Morris theorem. He found the Chicago Fire and he was happy and stayed here forever.
Oh my God. Except that Frank Klopas actually played in Greece before playing for the Fire. But besides the point, if one day we are gracious enough that we get our own stadium, Lincoln Yards, by the way.
Thank you. I want to walk there.
And if once we get the stadium, the first statue I want to see, the first person I want to see immortalized outside of the stadium, just like just like Wrigley, just like Soldier Field, just like Guarantee Field, is Frank Klopas. That's the first person.
And that Frank goal Klopas, when he scored for Fire to clinch up the U.S. Open Cup when he celebrates, that'll be his pose.
That's beautiful. Like,
or him jumping. Dude, it's him jumping over the
boards.
Yeah, over the boards.
Oh yeah, over the boards, dude. Listen, Frank Klopas, like, that's the thing. The further he gets away from coaching this team, the better I feel about him. Right? Like, I love Frank Klopas, but I had to complain about him all season because he's not a coach, dude. He just isn't. He proved in 2012 he's not a coach. You know what I mean? Like, it just, and that's not like, I'm not a coach. Honestly, can't do that. That doesn't mean he's a bad human being. Like,
no.
Like, he did amazing things as a player. He cares about this club and, like, in the best possible way, because, like, MLS clubs, as much as, like, we live in Chicago, like, let's put it this way. We live in Chicago, but can you not point out all these cats that, like, hang out in the section, in the supporter section, right? It's a massive city of 3 million people, but God damn it, I know all these like 20, 30 people involved in Section 8, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's a small club, and Frank Klopas is in it, and he's
You know what?
always in it.
And that's not to say that he was impressed by ownership or front office to take the reins while they figure themselves out. Because for all we know, Joe Mansour probably told him, hey, look, we're going after someone else, but for this year, I need you to be in charge. Can you do
and I'll
that?
say it one last time. There's something to the fact that he actually knows how to fill out a lineup, submit it properly, sign players. Like, he knows the nuts and bolts of how to run a team. He's not a great coach. He doesn't have great tactics, but he actually knows how to physically do it. Like, that's something in and of itself. So, like,
So you heard that, Joe.
Klopas.
You heard that, Joe. We don't want a plaque. We don't want a bust. We want a full-on immortalized statue of Frank Klopas outside of the new stadium. That's what we want.
Like,
we don't.
Well, hold on, James. I know you're ready to pounce, but he said new stadium. We'll get there in just a second.
Okay. If we get the new
Can
stadium.
can I say one thing? Okay. I've been around this team for a long time. I've gone to games since 2010 locally, and before that, I went to games before that. You know, I care about our history. I met Nicole Hack. I know her father like was involved in everything like that. I care about that. I care about that stuff, right? The Ring of Fire is nowhere to be found in Soldier Field. You know, like I don't see it. It's not hanging. There's no banners. You know, like, we deserve slightly more. And
we've deserved slightly more for a while. I feel like Chicago is we don't get the treatment we deserve. Toronto for years has been what I've expected Chicago to be for years. And then you see Seattle, Red Bull, you just see all these other clubs, Nashville, Columbus Crew, you see all these other clubs have success, and we just keep languishing in the darkness.
So I think going back to Toke's point, and I believe it's the Wall of Honor, the Ring of Fire is for like
Fire, yeah,
it's for the players. It's for the players, and then I think the Wall of Honor is for the fans. And I think the problem is, and it's first of all, it's not our stadium. Even if the Bears leave, it's not going to be our stadium, because that stadium is honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's specifically designed for the Bears. If it's not evident enough.
Well, I mean, when they redesigned it, they lost all ability to host FIFA sanctioned events because they lost like specific, like specific, diameters of the field. And so FIFA, like, that's why we don't have a World Cup game. That's why all this stuff isn't happening. That's why the U.S. doesn't play here for qualifiers, because we actually don't hit FIFA standards. And that kind of sucks for like a place that should be a home of soccer. Like, I don't mind if we share a stadium, but we got to share it. We can't just be like, oh yeah, like the anime club comes into this classroom after school on Thursdays. Like, that can't be what we do. You know what I mean?
No, I get it. And that's another argument against playing in the winter is we're going to be playing on a field that has a bunch of markings from the Bears games.
You know, that bothers me less as long as we fill the stadium. But
we're not going to fill it.
Well, you say that we're not going to fill the stadium, but let's be honest. Hold on. Our average attendance this year was good enough to be like 90% full in Bridgeview.
No, that's sold out numbers.
You're right. That's sold out.
That's sold out.
Right.
And that number itself is like, I think it's surpassed standing room only. So, yeah.
Yeah, 21,327. You're right. I'm pretty sure Bridgeview touts 22,000 as like a capacity, and we're right there. And like, this was a bad team. It's because there was some hype. They've done a lot of the right things as far as marketing the team. It's just fingers crossed Greg does the damn thing.
All right, boys, let's move on. We're moving into Wyatt Holmesburg still might be a Chicago Fire player. How do you feel about that?
I mean,
I'm not against it. I'm not against it. It just, listen, this team has to sign a star center back, a star winger, and a star midfielder. They have to sign 3 MLS level stars to like be a good team.
Number 10 specifically.
This is some random person on Twitter's feeling. Brady, keep. Dowd, loaned out. Gal, seller, loan out. Richie, keep. Richie, get rid of. Gal, get rid of. Dowd, get rid of. Brady, keep.
Well, Richie is out.
He's gone.
Richie. Well, but here's the thing. There's a few people that were lost. James, do us a favor. Go through who was options were not kept this season.
All right, so Ariel Lassiter, Ellen Arigoni, and Spencer Ritchie are confirmed departures. Jonathan Dean and Jeff Gall did get their options picked up, though. So we will see Jonathan Dean and Jeff Gall again as a Chicago Fire player, potentially, at least if they make it through Greg's camp. Fabian Herbers is gone. But Wyatt Holmesburg and Javier Casas might come back. They are discussing with the team potentially returning. Chihos is gone. He was discussing with Fire trying to come back, but it sounds like that, given his age and salary, he's out. And that's gonna leave. There's still a few people still here. Gaston Jimenez, Carlos Teran, Arnold Suke. And maybe 2 out of 3 of those might be tried to move on, if not all 3.
Okay. I'm not going to pretend like I didn't miss some of that, but I missed some. So
Richie is out.
Hold on. Richie's out. Ari Laster's out. How do you guys feel about Ari Laster? I kind of like him as
I didn't think it was anything special.
Nothing special, but a depth piece. But if Greg didn't think he could do anything with him, gone.
But another factor is how much we were paying him.
Well, thank you, DPG. Don't pretend that there's not times that like they don't pick up the option, but they re-sign him for a lower number.
Mm-hmm.
And so like Wyatt Holmesburg is being talked about being re-signed. I don't think it would be the end of the world to re-sign Richie. He is at least like
I don't think they're keeping him. Like if they're not talking to him afterwards, they're not gonna keep him. I think he's just done with the Fire. I think
that's not the end of the world because the Fire always produce goalkeepers for some reason.
They gave him the whole "we're going a different direction" speech.
Yes.
So, and as far as defenders, Arigoni probably was going to cost too much in the long run in terms of salary space.
See, I said this in the group chat. So for all of you who don't know, the 3 of us are in a group chat, yada, yada. I bug them with deathcore stuff, whatever.
It's a lot of fun.
But what I really thought and what I mentioned in the group chat is what we don't know is the triggers in Arigoni's contract. Like if he's not a part of Greg's plan, but like had he played like 4 more games, he might have been like forced to be signed.
It's a loan move. It's a loan move. It was a loan move. And
it was, but you don't know what the like triggers were.
I highly doubt that there was any triggers just because the club.
You're crazy. There was
the clubs are owned by the same guy. So like if Greg walked in there and said, "I don't want Arigoni," he's not gonna get Arigoni.
But look, who was the center back last season? Dembole or whatever. What was his name?
Doumbia.
There was triggers in Doumbia's contract. Had he been better, he would have been forced to be signed to the Fire. You know what I mean? So like we don't know what was in Arigoni's contract, and we don't know if like
That's
Greg
a
is like, I'm gonna get Shaq Moore or what.
I mean, either way, like honestly, I always thought of Arigoni as gonna be as an expensive player for that role. Like we were probably gonna spend a nice chunk of change on our
But
salary.
was he not the best on the back line? I think
all
all season he was the best player on the back line.
But that's not saying a lot about our back line.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I mean,
do we think Chihos is going to take a lower and come back?
He wasn't gonna.
No,
I
he's
think
gone.
the club. And it was a dip in performance too. Like everybody saw that. Everybody called that out. Like
yeah, but I would love it. I would love Chihos off the bench.
Yeah, but you're talking about he's taking an international slot.
But how many international spots we using? We got Kellen Acosta.
No, Kellen Acosta's in column and is in a foreign.
No, I know that's what I'm getting at.
So, I mean, Seahawks was pretty much done. I think me personally as a fan, I think I was ready for him to move on too. Like I was done. I really
thought he had a big season ahead of him. Really fell off.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Everybody thought the same way too, because the man was like a stalwart like last season. Like he was, he was like
still good last. Like I'm not afraid to admit, coming into this season, I was scared of the GM and coach, but I was like, wow, we have a lot of talent, and apparently we didn't.
No, we didn't. So
we also
it was
didn't
a
have the
different
coach
performance.
who could get the most out of what we had.
Dare I say
what do
too
you
that
think about Arigoni, James?
I like Arigoni, but we haven't seen him play since August 31st.
It was probably that
think
something happened.
Yeah, there was a clause.
No, guys, that's not how loans work. Something else happened because it doesn't make sense. Also, why didn't the other club call him back?
Well, okay,
I don't know. Something happened.
Lugano was rolling, by the way. Remember, they were bopping in the Champions League, feeling good about themselves.
Right.
But, like, I don't know, man. I strongly believe, and I could be proven wrong. Men Red could come out and be like, hey, listen, look at this guy. FC Neo Tokyo, he's an idiot. But I truly believe, like, he had triggers in his contract that he was so close to that they were like, oh, nope. We're not playing you. Sorry. It was like the Alan Gordon thing. Remember when Alan Gordon scored a bunch of goals off the bench and they were like, yo, dog, we're not going to pay you. And so they just stopped playing him.
Yeah,
and
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, that's because Alan Gordon wasn't going to be a long-term solution for the Fire. And I don't think Arigoni was going to be a long-term solution for Fire.
Do you think Alan Gordon had a huge hog in that boot?
we know.
Sorry, go ahead.
So going down this list, honestly, I feel like we should sell Teran.
I mean, duh.
Yeah, I don't know. He's costing us probably a nice chunk of change. So sell Teran. Gasper, if he's a low hit on the salary cap, fine. I guess keep Gutman. I think you gotta keep Gutman as long as he stays healthy.
Well, the idea of Gutman is to stay healthy and play well. Like, did we see enough out? James, did you see enough out of Gutman this year? Because
no,
he kept getting hurt.
He kept getting hurt.
No, hold on. When he played,
even when he played, he was invisible, dude. No, everybody was invisible on this team.
On the back line specifically.
Everybody, as the wings were invisible. The people who weren't invisible were Brady, because if we had a Conan net, man, it would have been even worse. And Kuipers stood out as well. Every once in a while, Acosta would pop. Every once in a while, Guti would pop. Herbers was always a kind of a steady hand in some ways, but just a steady hand that just is not good enough to start consistently. So...
Yeah. Does Herbers come back on a lower number?
I would love Herbers to come back, but I think he's gone.
I think he's done. I think the club has had enough, man. I think unless that article mentions that they're talking to him on the side, I think he's just done. Because then again, keep in mind, Greg made these calls, not Klopas, not height. Greg made him. So if Greg is done, he's done.
So is Teran a part of the plan, or is Teran a sell, please?
Teran's right now not a part of the plan. He's able to be sold, but he is here. He's a piece to be moved on, along with Jimenez.
Hold on. Jimenez.
I would rather keep Teran.
There's no other. Listen, Fede Navarro is Fede Navarro. He is young enough that he still has value.
I was so
Gaston Jimenez is our buyout. Buyout Gaston Jimenez, please.
We should try to sell him, even if we get a bag.
Listen. Listen. We could have sold him 3 years ago for a loss, but for whatever reason, they won't sell him for a loss. So just buy him out. Like, honestly, I don't know, man.
Okay. So I would by all means try to sell Jimenez to anyone. Anyone, I'll take him. And
dude,
I don't care
Boca has wanted him forever. Give him to him for whatever price they give you. $250,000. Give him.
Yeah,
Screw
whatever.
It.
Honestly, I think Federico Navarro. I think we should sell him.
Yes.
We should.
Here's the thing: Federico Navarro needs a change of scenery. So he is so sellable.
Maybe.
No. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. He just needs a change of scenery, whether it's Galatasaray, whether it's Salt Lake, whether it's
Galatasaray. What are you smoking?
Yeah, he ain't going to Galatasaray.
It doesn't matter. Galatasaray, Utah,
unless he pulls a Cabo.
Who cares? Like, he just needs a change of scenery because I feel like that kid. Listen, that kid is going to make us feel stupid because he's going to like pop somewhere, but it's not going to be here. And it doesn't matter. No matter how you try, it's not going to be here. And you know what? He's got to, it's just football.
Wait, you don't think Greg could get more out of him?
He could. Greg could get more out of Federico Navarro, but like he needs a change of scenery. Turkey, Mexico, somewhere else in MLS, anywhere.
What do you think about that, Justin Reynolds?
Listen, I am angry about how the Fire have treated the Reynolds family, to be perfectly honest. Reynolds.
Okay.
I want Andre Reynolds.
What if the fact is they're not good enough? And if they were good enough, other MLS teams would be taking a chance.
Reynolds actually didn't play that bad on Saturday.
I thought that the older Reynolds was all right too.
The older Reynolds was better. Unpopular opinion. Go ahead and roast me, rest of Chicago Fire Twitter. I think the older Reynolds was better. Andre Reynolds the third or whatever.
Yeah.
He was better than this Reynolds. This Reynolds is still good. He should really, what he should do is go to USL, fucking kill it for a year, and get a move over to Europe to like Portugal or Turkey or Belgium or something, right? And like, but he could be a valuable piece for a Fire team building. I mean that.
Coming off the bench, I think he'll be a good off the bench piece. Up until a point that he can actually make it count as a starting.
Totally
11.
agree.
Suke, I honestly think we should sell him. We're paying way too much for that guy and for the productivity he's given us. I don't think he's worth the price tag.
Is anybody buying Suke, or do we need to buy him out? Like, here's the thing.
We have buyouts for next year. You're right.
Well, we have one buyout. Like, I'm so confused on the rules.
I'm waiting for the announcement where it says the Fire and the Jimenez have mutually agreed.
I've been waiting that for 5 years. How long has he played here? Since like 3 minutes after he signed. I'll put it this way.
If you notice, a lot of our defenders, that's where the fat is at. That's where you basically have to clean house. And I can tell you this right now. I think the only guy left standing in that back line is Gutman, and that's it. Like, everybody else is going to be new.
Well, I hate that. I hate that because I think Teran could be an amazing MLS player, but I feel like he needs a change of scenery. Like, If Teran went to Miami,
How much longer are we going to talk about Teran?
they have 85 points this year. You know what I'm saying? Like if Teran is on Miami, they win 3 to 5 more games.
What? That was funny, Toke. That was really, really funny, man.
All right.
I seen Teran mess up so many times.
Guys, let's move on to the midfield.
All right.
Let's move on.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna keep Acosta. That's a given. We need obviously.
Easy.
I think easy. That's a given. Jimenez, we already talked about him. He's out. Like, we don't want him. Brian Gutierrez, we all know that he's not gonna be the number 10. He's not gonna be the playmaker of this team. So we need an actual playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you want? Who do
I
you
don't know.
want as a playmaker?
Yeah, that's
I
a
don't
good
know.
question.
I'll leave it up to Greg. I mean, Greg surprised me.
There's no American playmakers, right? Like who?
Well, hold on. Do you accept a Sebastian Lletget as a playmaker because he played center midfield? Do you accept? Well, hold on.
Is his girlfriend gonna play halftime?
Oh,
Chicago gets Becky G and also Sebastian
and
Lletget.
she's
in the deal.
one who's popping. She's the one who's breaking the fire alarm in the beginning of the game.
Oh my God.
I think she will. If they sign Lletget, she is definitely breaking that fire alarm.
Oh,
That's a
100%. So, hold on. Can I say one thing?
Yeah,
You
go ahead.
always say stuff.
Yeah, go ahead,
You
man.
brought up the breaking the alarm thing. As a person who is in the section,
Yep.
okay, the breaking the alarm thing is cool as fuck. But like the lamest thing on planet Earth is the like fire. The chant they tried to do beforehand.
That whole
Dude,
breaking the
it sounds like your problem is with Section 8. And I agree. Section 8 fucking sucks, dude. Section 8 and Sector Latino, I'm sorry, they're great people, but they fucking suck as far as rousing up the crowd. They got all these songs and words that nobody fucking knows. I love La Mequija Roja, but nobody knows it outside of 20 people.
You know what's the problem? Imagine going in a room and one guy brings a boombox and then the other guy brings a boombox.
That's exactly what happens.
And they both play different songs and you're in the middle and you don't know which one to listen to.
Okay, DPG, that is called dissonance. That's called dissonance and it drives people crazy.
I'd like to raise my hand as the only person on the podcast who sits in the section. I will say this, like,
Don't get canceled.
No, I'm not gonna get canceled. I get like the saxophone and then like I get your chants and shit, but like, listen, look at me. I'm in my 40s. I have blue hair. I'm whatever, right? Section 8 has been nothing but dismissive of me. Everybody I've tried to talk to is like, ew, don't talk to me. Like, I look at some kid and I'm like, yo, you got a Spencer Ritchie jersey. You're an MLS go. I love that. And he's like, ew, don't talk to me. Yeah. Meanwhile, Sector Latino has embraced me and my fiance. Like, we are fucking...
Sector Latino is always awesome about embracing and bringing in people. But like I said, now I'm talking about the stadium atmosphere provided by both Sector Latino and Section 8. They are dueling trumpets. And it is just... It creates a cacophony of noise, which doesn't make sense. And on top of that, they both fucking suck as far as bringing in the crowd. It's all about themselves. It's all about serving themselves and making them happy. It's not about serving the crowd. Because if it was about serving the crowd, you would have more than one fucking Tetris song played a game. You would have more popular songs.
God,
You'd have more songs played that people would be able to be like, random people who go to the game, who showed up like, oh, I got a ticket to the Chicago Fire. I'm going to go with my buddies. And they're there with their buddies. They never read their fucking soccer game, but they're like, oh, I know that one.
You know what's crazy?
And they just get the crowd into it. Get your selfish shit out of it. I'm tired of it because it's all about their egos. It's all about stroking their own egos and making them happy. It's not about the fans. It's not about the players. It's about them.
Hold on. I will slightly disagree with that.
They're self-serving.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I will say this. It is important for them to be separated. And not because, like, fucking Hispanic people over here, white people over there. Right? Yes. And, like, I digress. I know I said that, but, like, I know the Black Fires are very hardcore into Section 8. I'll put it this way. I've been sitting with Sector Latino. And, like, when we were at Bridgeview, Sector Latino was across the field from the Harlem end. And I would get tickets in the Harlem end because I kept trying to be in the supporter section. And, like, that was rad because you had, like, sound everywhere. You had sound on both ends of the stadium. You had chants both ends of the stadium. But, like, at this point, it's horrible because, like, yes, there will be times where Section 8 tries to join Sector Latino, and then Sector Latino will literally change a song being like, F you.
Dude, it makes it uncomfortable.
And
it's like being in the middle.
It does.
You're being at a dinner between two divorced parents. That's what Sector Latino and Section 8 is subjecting to us. They're subjecting all the rest of the fans to this uncomfortableness. They really are. It's abusive, and then they get mad at us. They get mad at people for saying that they're upset and bothered by it, but it's uncomfortable to be in that environment.
I mean, there are a few individuals that make it harder for people.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I've sat in Section 8 in the Bridgeview games.
Yes, so have I.
I remember back in 2011. I know my first Fire game was 2010, and I remember that was me sitting in Section 8 in a game in 2010 was like the one thing that kind of drew me into like supporting the Fire. Like the very next season, I bought season tickets for them, and I bought season tickets for Section 8 for like 5 years straight, and every year it was like less and less and less and less and less. Up until the point where I was like, you know what, I'll just go sit somewhere else now. And it's just, I mean, a lot of it has to do with the way the team has been during those times. But I think there's so much going on. There's not a whole lot of organization. And you always get that vibe that they're like that these supporter groups are basically competing with each other.
Yes.
100%. Hold on. May I say something? I'm sorry.
Divorced parents.
I just ran back. My bad. I'll say this. DPG, you are so correct. They are competing with each other. And that's the problem because, like, there is nothing wrong ever with, like, both supports existing somewhere else in the stadium.
Yes.
It creates a better atmosphere. Bridgeview was better when Sector Latino was by the stage and Section 8 was Harlem End. It was better. There was so much more going on. There was so much more fun. Like I said, I'm going to say this out loud. I'm going to clip this right now. This is going to be a part of a fucking video by itself. Section 8, all the people I've met have been rude as shit. I have tried to be, like, I've got blue hair. I stick out, right? Like, I tried to be friendly, and the people in Sector Latino was 10 times friendlier than Section 8. And I hate to be like this. I don't mean to
agree.
Like, bring up drama, but, like, honestly, like...
Every one of my interactions, Toke, I 100% agree with you. Like, I've had great... I'm a random stranger to all of these people, right? But for some reason, Sector Latino has no problems bringing in, putting a beer in my hand, having a fun blast with us. And then then we go to Section 8. I'm sorry, I hope I said that about Sector Latino, who's amazing, fun, embracive, inclusive for all people. It doesn't matter. It's kind of fucking awesome. Meanwhile, the people who claim to be inclusive and claim to be all about this other crap, which is Section 8, aren't about it at all, because you go there and it's just like these weird cliques. Nobody likes each other, and they all give you glares just for being there. And then on top of that, like I said, then you go into the game, and then it's like being where two divorced parents are at dinner and they don't love their child, and their child is the crowd. The child is the crowd. They don't care about the crowd. They're more cared about both of their little factions because they're having these little wars.
And to add on to this, it wasn't always like this. I remember walking in a parking lot.
You're right, it wasn't.
On the season opener in 2011, and we had all these supporter groups. I remember Husaria, an old Fire supporter group, freaking giving us shots. Like me walking by, saying hi, and yeah, take a shot. And I had that was my first interaction with them. People just saying hi to you. I mean, I had someone even give me a scarf because I told them, it's my first season as a Fire. They gave me a scarf. And I'm not saying I want anything for free. Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the attitude towards new fans was much different. It was
How
like,
hard is it to put a beer in somebody's hand? Not that hard when you got them.
I'll say this. The people of Barn Burners have been nice to me.
Mm-hmm.
And my fiance, the people of Barnes Burners,
they're all nice to your face, but when it comes to like going and being in that area, like I'm part of the bros when I'm in Sector Latino, and then like I'm a weird outcast in Section 8, and it feels like, I think it's like that for everybody who goes into Section 8. They're like, I expected it to be like people who like the Fire who would be happy to see other people like the Fire.
It used to be that way. When Sector... Listen, I'll put it this way. I told these guys offline before we started this podcast. Every time I've bought a ticket to a game, and this year is the first year I've been a season ticket holder, but before this, I've bought tickets to games. Every time it's been in the Harlem end, right? Like I have always been in the Harlem end. I've always bought supporters tickets. Like my buddy last season bought corner tickets for the Fire because he wanted to come to Chicago and hang out with me. We went, we had a great time. Other than that, I've bought supporters tickets. And I'll put it this way. I am the most white guy ever. I listen to death metal music. I got blue hair. I am a white dude.
I don't know what metal music or blue hair has to do with it, because I know DK Metcalf has blue hair, and I know a lot of people who listen to death metal, and it doesn't matter about the color. And I'm white, and I don't listen to death metal or have blue hair.
I got it, James. You know what it is? He's from Peoria.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is I'm one of the whitest humans who have ever.
Yeah, all right.
I'm white.
Yeah.
I am white.
Yeah, we can see that.
Why you gotta make about color, bro?
And
I don't see color, Toke. I'm sorry. I don't see color.
Sector Latino has been nothing but nice to me.
Yeah, I know. I guess that's your point, which is also my point. Like, yeah.
And dudes have walked up to me and like literally the last game of the season, dude was like, "Hey, I've seen you all season." I was like, "What's up? I've seen you as well, waving the flag." And like I met this kid, Brandon, like the last game of the season.
Shout out, Brandon.
And everybody's been nothing but nice to me and my fiance. The one time we sat over in Section 8, like I caught this kid with a Spencer jersey, and I was like, "Oh my God, you're an MLS sicko. You have a Spencer jersey." And he looked at me like I could have been like I was SARS, right? Like he looked at me like I was disgusting.
Wow.
And it's like, I get that you're like a kid
Columbus
and I'm
fan.
40, but I'm just trying to say like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, so this season has been so crazy with the support, the way it has been being in the supporters.
Maybe that's just the political environment, but.
But even then, like I remember, I told you, I don't know if I told you guys this. I was doing grocery shopping at my local Meijer, and I was wearing a fire shirt. And then some guy's like, "Hey, you watch the Fire?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And then come to find out, he's involved in the youth soccer stuff, and we actually exchanged number. And he's actually messaged me like, "Hey, did the Fire actually gonna sign Greg Berhalter to coach, or how much?" He was talking about John Duran, which was crazy, but.
That's so funny, dude. We met a couple in Sector Latino, another like bunch of white kids, right? Like they're like 10 years younger than us. This kid and his wife, And I had to tell my fiance, I was like, she's not just like also like a +1. She's like a true believer, right? Like she was a huge fan. But like we've made friends in the section. Like it's wild, man. I kind of remember when Section 8 was way more welcoming.
Right.
And I hate to say that. And I know, like, I don't know. I don't want to spend our whole podcast shitting on Section 8, but like I remember was way more welcoming to me bringing dudes from work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like for just one game. Then like now when I got season tickets and nobody wants to talk to me. Like,
well, you know, maybe things would change if we started to use koozies as currency at fire matches.
That's actually really cool.
I really love
wondering.
this post from Glasshouse Soccer. Check him out on YouTube. Follow him on podcast.
I've got that hazy
Twitter.
pitch one.
Like, look at
this.
These are great.
Glasshouse Soccer. Shout out to Glasshouse Soccer. That dude is a lawyer, and he is so like, what's the word I'm searching for?
Analytical?
News. Like, he's very like,
analytical. News.
Analytical, yes.
Yes.
Like, I love it. I kind of love it. That dude.
I love it. Big fan.
shout out to that dude. He's doing the damn thing on
By
Twitter.
the way, we had a question. Fabian Herbers is in fact gone because the Fire have wished him well.
Told you.
Yo, so they're not going to try and re-sign him.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone, bro.
He's gone.
How do you guys feel about that?
I'm okay with it, but people don't even realize what this club could be. Do you think we're part of that group? I don't think we're part of that. I think we could. I think we realize what this club could be.
You know, there's a very strong, like, there's a reality where the Fire are good for 5 years, and like we're always in the playoffs, and we win a cup or 1 or 2 cups. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reality where that exists. Did we just lose DPG? It hurts my soul.
I know, right as we're about to close. But there's some fun stuff here. There's some Chicago Fire 2-player MLS Next Pro guy, David Pereva, won the Golden Boot for MLS Next Pro. Man, he looks like he got in a fight.
And what's funny is
just
like,
fought Oguchi Onweyu.
Glasgow is considered like the #1 prospect.
And here's this guy, like, Pereba.
Well, we're good at youth players, right? Like Jane DeMeritt came out of the Chicago Fire system, right?
Oh, this is awesome.
Chicago.
I want that flag. Men in red, are we? That's a great freaking flag.
Hold on.
I'll put that in the ground outside my house.
Bring up the group chat. Your boy right here, FC Neo Tokyo.
I can't bring up the group chat because it reveals too much.
I won the cowboy hat.
I'll look it up though. I'll just look up CF97 cowboy hat, and we'll shut it down after that. There it is. Oh, the legendary cowboy. You can imagine the things that Toke does with this. It's a good looking hat though. I'd wear it. I'd say giddy up.
Me and my girl, we went to the game with the hats, and we didn't get in early enough to get one, and she was disappointed. And I like retweeted this. I retweeted the clear pride bag where it had the Chicago Fire pride symbol on like a clear bag,
mm-hmm.
and I retweeted both of them trying to win them because those were like the only 2 giveaways I didn't get. Like I got the baseball jersey, I got the Zach Thornton bobblehead. I got the flag. What else did I get? I got all sorts of shit, right? And yeah, the baseball jersey is sick. It is seriously sick. And the bobblehead, you know what? Am I a bad fan? Because I didn't like take the bobblehead out.
Tuck in your friggin' shirt. That's great.
Dude, I will say the one, you know what? We spent a lot of time shitting on this section. And I'll say this about this. They are good about finding somebody and giving them some love.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know, but we're going to shut it down because it's been one hell of a show. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for watching. Comment below. We always love to read your comments. We'll catch you on the next Enemies of the Fire. We're always filming one podcast every week at least, unless there's crazy news, and then we maybe even film a second. And we do little fun things along the way, maybe a little live thing here and there, and then maybe a little football manager experiment during the off season. We'll take a peek at that. And thanks for hanging out.
Hold on. Anybody who got it this late in the podcast, comment and make these fools listen to some episodes so we can make some best ofs.
Let's go. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys on the next Enemies of the Fire. Have a great one. See you guys later. Bye.
Hurts. James, what if they were so inclined, should they do with the like button?
This time, probably pick it up in your hands. Don't worry. Play stop. We talked to the ref. Ref blew his whistle. He's waiting on you. Inspect the ball. Dust it off. Get that blade of grass right. Set the ball down. Go into your zen zone. Look the goalkeeper dead in the eyes, like you fucked his mother. Back the ball. Back up. Back up. And even though it's your son you're shooting on, bury that ball into the upper 90. And make sure you hit that like button along the way and be right back here on Enemies of the Fire.